Hey everyone, it's 3 o'clock. That means it's time to roll for combat. That's a good one. I did it.
That was a good one. That was a good
There
one.
you go.
So
I just
Derek.
got here. I just got here. I don't know what's going on. I've been running around.
You are. This is what always happens. I have friends of mine. And whenever they lose their jobs, I never see them again.
Yeah. I now to be clear, right? We had I had a lot of craziness happen to me. My father passed away. We took on these foster dogs. Things were crazy anyways. And then in the midst of that, after that happened, like a week later, I lost my job. So like the first month, 6 weeks were pretty chaotic and hectic and trying to figure out my insurance situation and all this other stuff. But since then, things have somewhat calmed down. And yeah, I'm so busy. It's crazy. I don't, to be clear, a lot of it is I'm trying to, get my studio back up and running. I'm converting my bedroom studio into a fully functioning production quality studio that, quite frankly, pretty much anybody that's not Critical Role would probably be like, this is excessive.
Uh-huh. You are. Nothing.
Oh yeah, like I've got a full SDI Blackmagic workflow. These are high quality production cameras here.
Oh god, I'm very curious. I actually want to come by and see this thing.
Yeah, hell yeah, absolutely. You've been here before. You can always stop by.
No, I've never been to your house.
No, I mean, but you've been to Cleveland.
Oh yeah. No, I'm always.
Because we never had you by the studio, did we? Did you stop by the original studio?
You can't hear me well. What do you mean you can't hear me well?
No.
Are the audience saying they can't hear you?
They're saying
They can't hear you with your mic on, Steven?
yeah. It says
we can hear Steven. Derek and I are hearing him normally.
Are you capturing your audio input, not just audio output in OBS?
Hold on.
Sometimes OBS just weirdly changes.
Can you hear me
sound.
now? I could be on the wrong mic. It probably was on the wrong mic. Oh, I was far away. Yeah, I was probably on the wrong mic. Now they say
that's what they were all saying. Is
all right, now
that you might have been
yeah.
not on the headset, but on your computer mic.
Yeah, that happens all the time.
Amateurs.
OBS just does it. And you don't ask
it changes me stuff. It changes it all the time. I actually I checked.
If it changed it every time, I would get used to it, Steven. But for me, it changes it like 10% of the time. And it's just low enough that it's rare enough that you expect it won't.
And that is fair and valid, but that is why I, a professional streamer, have a checklist that I go through.
Well, I went through the checklist and I checked, but the problem is that it looked like my audio was working because when I talk, it went up, but it still was on the wrong mic. You gotta check that
audio source. That's in my thing.
I did check the audio source,
Derek
but the problem is
a better checklist.
Okay, fine. I'll do a better checklist.
I have a computer mic. I have this mic. I have this mic. Imagine if I had all these mics on, you might start hearing me echoing from 5 different locations because there's all these different microphones. But
good, thank you. Good job. That's what I want. I want to hear as much Derek as possible.
Well, in
2 weeks
we did it. Well, yeah, yesterday I did. I know. In 2 weeks, you're going to get to hear it again. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Oh my god! I actually. Gen Con, by the way, people.
We have a 10 by 10 booth, and I had to ship. I have shipped. Derek, how much crap do you have?
I mean, I have a Subaru Forester, right? So it's not a full SUV. It's it's a car sport utility vehicle. And Steven goes, is all that stuff going to fit? And he basically made me pack up my car to see if I could store all the stuff he shipped me that I'm bringing to Gen Con. Because obviously for me, I'm driving to Gen Con. And he's flying to Gen Con.
I shipped yesterday 300 pounds of boxes to another person, and he's bringing an entire van, and I'm still only bringing like half the books I brought to PAX East. I was like, this little tiny booth it's like, I can't believe how much crap we are putting into this booth. It's like endless. It is endless.
Well, some of it is quality of life. I myself am very much looking forward to the foam pad. Steven graciously decided to upgrade the comfort for the booth workers by buying a bunch of like foam floor tiles so that we have something nice to stand
I bought the thickest ones they make because it's like got the good old inch, the thick foam inch ones.
Right.
Yeah, that's gonna be that's good for everyone. Well, It was like $500 for carpet, and then I was like, damn. And then I was looking at pictures of other people's booths and I saw the tiles and I go, aha, that's why they do tiles.
Yeah, that's why they do it. And that makes so much of a difference for your feet.
Yeah.
Compared to being on the concrete, you just can't for that amount of time.
Well, when we were at PAX, after the first day, I went with Steven to like a Rite Aid or a CVS, and I bought gel inserts.
I have gel inserts in my shoes just all the time now, thanks to dealing with Gen Con, and it's very helpful.
So
looks like we got a super chat from Kagar 4606 for, I think that's 11 Turkish lira, but it might not be. It says, Steven, this happens every week. Please don't assume it works.
That was
what happens most weeks is that I'm muted.
The 11 Turkish lira is 28 cents.
There you go.
So thank you.
Was it 11 Turkish lira?
I guess. But so we have a few small announcements for the booth. On Thursday, we will have your favorite person in the whole world is going to be there. The dungeon coach himself is going to be, Friday at 2 p.m.
Whose favorite person is that? Is that mine? Is that Derek's? Or is that everybody who's watching?
It's my favorite. Well, because the joke, when I didn't know his name was the dungeon coach, and I just saw everything as DC. And so the joke used to be, I was like, what is this guy? The dungeon cock? And that used to be what I used to call him.
He had the dungeon cock. So the dungeon coach will be at our booth.
No, but Alan's good people, though.
He's really nice. And he's going to hang out at our booth Friday at 2 p.m. Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon, we have Ted from Nerd Immersion who will be at our booth.
I've never met him.
He is really funny and nice, and he dresses as a orange wizard all the time. So Mike dresses an orange wizard. And then from noon to the rest of the day, we have Professor Dungeon Master who will be at the booth, hanging out, signing autographs and doing whatever else he was going to be doing. And I believe it's booth 1949, like in the middle in the back. And we will probably have Baron DeRop and others hang out as well. So,
yeah,
Baron said he'd come by and do a session. And if you want, you can also see Derek.
Nobody does, but we can talk shop. Like
some people do. We were at PAX East.
That's true.
Derek,
people love Derek.
The people who came to our thing in PAX East, how many cards did we give away? Like.
A lot.
It was thousands.
A lot.
Thousands. 5,000. I think there were at least like 10 people who came because they wanted to see you, at least. I wasn't like snooping on every single conversation of people who came up and were like, "Whoa, it's Derek." There were at least 10.
I did take a number of selfies with people, so that was fun. But no, I mean, I'm just one of the guys here. One of the gals. I'm there as a deterrent, Mark. No, that's just the opposite, Mark. See, everyone knows I hate stuff. So when I go, you should buy this, it's good. People go, oh, shit, okay.
You should wear a button that says, I hate everything. Ask me what I think.
Right. That's a good shirt.
That's your shirt for next year for Origins.
For Origins.
Yeah, I hate everything. So I've been so busy because we have a Kickstarter that launches in 1 week.
You're launching a Kickstarter before you go to Gen Con?
Yes. The Shadowdark. Yeah. The Shadowdark.
I guess you can hype. No, but, well, to be clear, a lot of people these days at Gen Con, look, I've poo-pooed Gen Con. I've praised Gen Con. I went to PAX. I had some nicer things to say about Gen Con in terms of certain things. But one of the things that people are doing these days, they'll get a booth at Gen Con and have nothing to sell. All they're doing there is hyping up their Kickstarter. Well, so by launching the Kickstarter before,
yes,
you can say, hey, look, we have books to buy and all this other stuff, but we also have this Kickstarter going on. You should check us out at shadowdark.rollforcombat.com or whatever it is.
Well, I made postcards, and we're going to give out the postcard along with the little card this time. So I have a whole thing. I have more to give out. We're giving out so much crap. We're gonna have so much crap I don't even know, and I've been talking to other people at booths.
But the thing is, Steven, it's not crap. Some places do give out things that are just a random like cheap piece of paper with something on it, but you have gotten like these beveled pins, and it's all like
No, these pins are insanely good.
Yeah, it's like when you're giving your free giveaways, you go for high quality stuff.
Rye versus World, we are not allowed to give out stickers.
Right.
They are verboten at cons because apparently people are very
They're
vandalous.
very naughty.
Vandalous. That's a good word.
They're very
Vandalous.
vandalous
They're
with
very
them,
vandalous. Now, well, you'll see. You'll see why next week everything will come into focus. There's so much going on. Let's see. Well, in my personal life, it's like first I got a million things going on. My son graduated high school. He's going to college. I have to go to a wedding this weekend in California, so I'm literally flying out on Friday, going to a wedding Saturday, and then coming back on Sunday. I have to file paperwork for my lawsuit against Diamond, so I have good news. Gamma is going to represent me in the lawsuit. How about that? Gamma.
Oh, really?
Yes, the Game Manufacturers Association.
Oh, Gamma's stepping up.
Yeah, they stepped up.
I guess they don't want a precedent that is that bad for other game manufacturers.
Right.
They're paying for
That's
it.
true.
It's great. They're paying for the thing. Their lawyers, they contacted me and on Monday. This is how fast it happened because the paperwork was due today. And then I spoke to them, and then I spoke to their lawyers yesterday, and then my lawyer spoke to their lawyers, and they are some gargantuan law firm. And then we put in some paperwork today, basically giving our case. A mere 3 pages, and that will file today, and arguments will be on Monday, and we will see what happens. So,
what court does it get filed in?
Baltimore,
because they're a Baltimore corporation.
Yep, that's where they are. That's where they are. So we got to go there. I don't have to do it. I just basically went through all that, and I had to ship all that stuff. I had to pack it. That was the worst part, but I got smart. I packed a lot of stuff inside. Remember the case, Derek, for the booth? I put a lot of the stuff inside the case.
Got it.
And then shipped the case, and I went to FedEx Ground, and I was like, so that one booth is 110 pounds now. That one case. And I was like, can I ship this? They're like, how heavy is it? I'm like, 110. They're like, that's not heavy. I'm like, okay, I guess you guys are used to it. He goes, how heavy can we go? He goes, 150. He goes, we've got people who come here and ask to ship things that are like 500 pounds. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah,
I don't know why, but that reminds me, always one of my favorite things is back when Wormwood was doing their shipping and they wanted to make it as economical as possible. Wormwood, the people who make the tables.
Yeah.
And they wanted to ship it by freight. But,
I normally ship by freight.
It wasn't heavy enough to get like the good discount.
Yeah.
So they started packing bricks into their boxes, and they were like, you get a free set of Wormwood bricks with every table, because it actually became cheaper by making it weigh more.
Yes.
Which
I actually
incentive.
Well, yeah, for me to send FedEx 300 pounds to FedEx cost as much as for me to send 1 ton across country by freight.
Right.
So freight is way cheaper. But you have to start sending tons.
Let's
if you're
go
gonna do
CSX. Norfolk Southern.
So,
I think those are the only 2 companies left.
So I guess, next week the Kickstarter launches, and then actually I have a week.
Yeah, then the week after that, we're at Gen Con.
I know. Then the week after that, we're at Gen Con.
But we do plan to do a stream, right? On the Wednesday before Gen Con.
Derek, are you bringing your stuff? Because we can do a stream using Derek as Mr.
Steven, you told me that we were planning on doing that, and we might have some very special guests in person there that
everyone's there. We're literally there with everyone, so whoever I can grab off the floor.
Well, and not only that, but like I said, Steven, I got those contacts who sent me the messages.
Oh, right, I forgot
what we were
that.
doing,
Correct.
and you said we were going to do.
We could do that too. Yeah,
and
that's right.
Well,
I'm going to get some very, very exciting people for us.
We have some
on that week.
Yeah, well, we have access to everyone.
Send me details because I can make some stuff happen. I mean, really, what it comes down to is the quality and the capability of the internet.
I have. Well, keep on. If we do it Wednesday, it won't be that bad.
No, I know. I'm just saying, most of the time when I do these streams, I tether to my phone, which is 5G. Most places,
I can tether.
I get pretty good internet.
I mean, I put it this way: I have two.
It's fine.
I have 2 Rhodes. I have 2 Rhodes mics So I don't know if you have any more roads.
I have 6.
Okay, why don't you bring your roads and bring your camera, and I'll bring my computer, and we'll be all set. That's basically what we need to do.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to, you can bring a mixer. I don't think you like a baby mixer or something.
Yeah, I have small. I literally have a portable mixer that I bring just so I can.
If you bring that, we'll be set. And then, and I'll just bring OBS and do it off my computer. I bought a new computer, and this thing is an absolute monster, so we'll have no problem. So, all right, so we'll do that. I mean,
well, yeah, because I was thinking of doing a stream while I was down there as well. And last year I went around and did interviews with booth people, which I never published.
My goal is to have everything. I mean, we're going to be there pretty early Tuesday. And last time, I have so many more people. We actually have like 2, 4, 6. We've got like 6 people this time instead of just 3 or 2.5, really, which is you and me mostly. And then at the end with the Mark,
we have a total of 6, including people who are only there partial time, though, right?
No, I'm talking about for setup.
We have 4 full time. And for setup,
for setup, Derek is considered full time,
including Derek.
Yeah, but he's considered full time for setup. So,
yeah, no, that makes sense. It's gonna
be
better.
Linda can be considered full time. She's good with like the markings and the drawing, and she's.
No, Linda's definitely planning on helping for setup and teardown as part of what her time will be.
Yeah, that's 6 people, and it's going to go with 6 people. This will go in like lightning fast. Thank God. So. Anyhow, so that will be for next week. How are those giveaways going?
Yeah, good. In fact, actually, you had somebody in chat,
I saw
RPG PhD, who said, "Shout out to our Roll for Combat and Mr. Glicker for giving away the core sets." Yeah, they're really.
How did that show up? How did 10 copies? Because it's pretty big and heavy. That must have been crazy.
It showed up in 2 big boxes.
Oh, those are the standard boxes.
2 big boxes and then 1 smaller box.
Oh, okay. They must have broken the
bigger box was like the distribution.
Standard. Yeah,
box.
the distribution. Yeah, okay. That's how I figured. They just send you the
I think we still have 3 or something or 4. I am slated to give one away to somebody in Europe. And I was like, all right, well, originally they were only for the US only, because I was like, for me to ship this to Europe is going to cost me like $40.
So speaking of it, on top of that, and
we are going to give one away to the EU.
There's so much more going on. I'm still scratching the surface. We just released. How about this, Derek? We released Krakens early for our people. I released the Battlezoo Bestiary 5e, which Derek is helping me out with, and hence he has a credit in the book. He's doing the monster parts for me.
Satyrs early as well.
We released Satyrs early. Krakens is out. Satyrs was released early yesterday. The Battlezoo Dragons Foundry module came out yesterday.
That's right.
And I'm still building the Kickstarter. And
Release the Kraken is getting closer and closer too.
Yeah, Release the Kraken Adventure. We had to rewrite, and we've been
moving
editing.
along. We did a lot of rewrites, and I'm doing some expansions, adding some cool tech that can be found in other game systems adventures. It's not common in D&D or Pathfinder, but some other game systems have like a dramatis personae at the beginning of each section of their adventure that you can just flip back to with the list of all the characters and who they are. And we're going to add that too, just to make it super easy for people to refer and just have a good reference.
A lot of the characters in this adventure have kind of odd names, and there's a lot of characters in this adventure. I've come to the realization a Battlezoo adventure is never going to be that easy to run for a GM, but they're, I would say, remember when they used to, didn't they used to do this? They used to say if adventures were like basic, advanced, expert, or something. Am I thinking some other system where they would
you're thinking BECME or BX Basic, where
they're thinking that.
I mean, for example, the original adventures, right? Like B1, right? Which in Search of the Unknown, basics, B2, Keep on the Borderland, B4,
and they had
Lost
like the
City.
Specials, right?
And then S1 were the specials. X1, Isle of Dread, was for the expert set. C1, C2, one of those is Death's Ride. Right. I mean, there's some famous ones.
Well, I actually think that our Battlezoo adventures, when they go into a dungeon crawl, especially, are actually pretty. Those are sometimes easier to run because they give more information that I otherwise have to come up with myself or have a sudden question from the players that I can't answer. Whereas they definitely do have like added complexity, raising stakes, and other sections that aren't in the dungeons that can make them a little more complex to run. But I can imagine a world in which we created a Battlezoo adventure that was mostly dungeon crawls and was easy to run. The Shadowdark ones are kind of like that.
Oh well, those are easy. No, but this adventure, it's not hard to run. It's just it's a mystery, and if you do a mystery, you need to really understand it fully if you're going to run it. So I basically was looking at Call Cthulhu as an outline, because that's nothing but so, and one of the things they often do is have like a list of all the NPCs. So we're going to do something that's basically outline the adventure ahead of time for the GM, so they know what the hell they're reading before they read it. Because I read the whole thing.
We had an outline already.
Yeah, but
a list
you
of
can never have
characters,
enough outlines.
which Call of Cthulhu and several other systems use, is just a great resource. Even
that's great.
Not for in advance, because if you're in advance, you can probably read the outline, but just during running it, if you wind up seeing a name in a place and you're like, I don't remember what this is, it's somewhere in the book. That's much harder to find it than if you're like, I don't know what this is, but if I go to the beginning of this section, there's a list of all the characters and it's definitely there. So I think that's a great idea. It was Steven's idea. And we're also putting in like sort of proper nouns and setting names into it at the very beginning, so that if you just aren't familiar with the Battlezoo setting and you're like, what's going on? There's an Eldamon. What is an Eldamon?
Yeah.
Then you can just quickly look that up. It'll tell you what it is.
And speaking of Eldamon,
I had Derek's first official act as the Eldamon master that he is, the legendary Eldamon master. I had Derek give some feedback on the Eldamon that we made last week, Mark.
Right.
And
he had
the exact same feedback we had.
yeah. Which is good, right? Because we were coming from very different places. But now Eldamon have started to make their way into the northern reaches, right? Of course, the northern reaches are known to be a place of ancient elemental power. And so now, after 3 seasons, the Eldamon have begun to awake, apparently first as villains, or at least as foes, because you can see in chat, Sarak, one of our Northern Reaches vets, says, one of your Eldamon, Grimalkin, the Death Cat, very nearly killed a PC in Northern Reaches last night. A calculation on AC made it a critical on a death effect. Terrifying stuff.
Oh, yeah.
The Death Eldamon don't
are
fool around.
So scary as opponents because everything they do is a death effects. Yeah. And some of their attacks do a horrifying amount of damage. They are glass cannons as opponents. So you can take them down easily, but that's cold comfort if one of your party members is already dead from the death effects.
Yeah, they're nasty. But
I bought it straight up from your site. I didn't even ask Steven for a code. I was like, I just paid for it. Bought the Foundry module, got it equipped onto our server, and it's people are gonna start Eldamoning up. So it's gonna be sweet.
We just updated it too a few times, and we've been updating it. On top of that, here we go. On top of that, there's only 2 people working this company, right? On top of that, I released the rules, the preliminary rules for everyone who's watching right now. If you want to enter the dungeon design contest for Shadowdark, here's the preliminary rules that I just posted, where you can see how you can enter, and it has the list of all the dungeons that you can use to design. And I didn't show that to you, Derek, but I'd be curious. What do you think? So we outlined the rules, how it works.
Fine. I'll do a stream. I'll just be like, let's tear these things apart. We'll enter one as Knights of Last Call.
It's not that you can't actually.
And
you
on
can't.
top of everything that Steven did, I was also working on the Figment Ancestry.
Oh, the Figment's really cool.
On the art briefs, I'm getting started up on these art briefs for these new Eldamon. The one that he showed Derek is the first for a sampler, so that we can get logos and make a sort of a sample on that for the Eldamon Legends project we've announced. And I was also doing a lot of pre-organization work on a project we have not announced, and therefore I can't tell you what it is.
We have a lot going on.
You might be able to guess roughly what it is if you know who we are and what we're doing, but I can't even tell you. So we're just and Living Legends. So we're just doing like an amount of ball juggling that is kind of mind-boggling to me, but it is, you know what? It's kind of fun too.
Yeah, Gina. The creator of Fabula Ultima, Emmanuel Galetto, is a friend of the channel. Actually, I still have a couple of giveaways that I need to give away
right
from,
next to Fabula Ultima. Yeah,
from books that I had him sign at last year's Gen Con. So
that's cool that we're next to Fabula Ultima.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Amazing. There should be. I'm looking forward to getting my my natural fantasy hard print or soft cover print from Fabula Ultima, because they basically have released a new book at every Gen Con since they've come out with the core set. They did obviously high fantasy, then techno fantasy last year, and now natural fantasy this year. They have Bestiary in the works, which is going to be awesome. And of course, they're going to do a Kickstarter with hardcover books, and they're going to get some legendary artists to do some pieces of work for them, and it's going to be amazing. And I never buy the collector's edition of anything. I am going to go all in on their Kickstarter.
I'm assuming when you say legendary artists, you mean like video game artists who actually did the art that the stuff was inspired by.
Correct. So very cool stuff coming. These small companies, what the hell's going on with D&D? Who the fuck cares? That's all I got to say.
Come on, though. It's the episode. We're going to talk about it.
No, but like, it doesn't matter anymore. It just doesn't matter anymore. The stuff that's coming out from these so-called indie third-party designers is so much better. And the level of care and concern and consideration and feedback and speed to market, it's just, there used to be a time and a place where, no one could compete with D&D because of their art budget and because of their ability to print at scale and all this other stuff. But it doesn't even matter anymore. Like the quality of products that are coming out of other companies is better, higher than D&D.
Art budget is better.
Yeah,
you're talking to me.
Yeah,
I think our art is right up. No, I think our art budget's up there. The only people with art budgets higher than us is Paizo and WoTC, and that's it. There's like no one who was a higher. Well, no, Shadow. I mean, actually,
arguably, Stephen, your art budgets on Jewel of the Indigo Isles probably was higher than Paizo's art budget for an adventure pad, because you illustrated every NPC in existence, and they would never do that. Whereas WoTC may actually be higher, because I know that at least for certain things that they order, that they pay a gobsmacking amount more than just like anyone else in the industry.
They hired, so they basically
to draw on the magic card, they pay quite a lot more.
They basically are buying everything as a full. They're basically paying almost cover prices for every piece of art, which is insane.
Right. No, look, it's awesome that
I think that's good that they're doing that.
It's great. I mean, like we talked about this before, right? The art budget for Daggerheart must have been astronomical.
Oh, no, I was going to say the Daggerheart. I know because I talked to them about it. He and I were comparing budgets actually at the time.
Daggerheart and Wizards doing that, to be clear, like that is good. I give a plaudit to Wizards for paying that amount for their artists. That, like, among their business practices, that is one of probably the few that I would just be like, this is a very good practice that almost no one in the industry is doing except them.
There's a difference between art budget and mount, because MCDM, I'm trying to find my MCDM book. MCDM, yes, they pay a lot, but I don't know.
Which one is that? Stronghold Followers? Looks like
I
actually don't know what MCDM's art budget is. It's probably grade 2.
They
probably should be up there in terms of their budget, but because their word budget is... Their other budget is very high.
No, it's really good.
MCDM.
Yeah, they're
quite a lot.
They're up there as well, but they also don't release 40 products a year.
That's certainly true. So if we talk about their annual art budget, it would be lower.
If I released one product a year, I could have as much as MCDM.
But even then, MCDM, I mean, again, it's still a small company, that other stuff. But I don't know. I'm not shitting on D&D. That's one of the things that people are always like, "Oh, Derek, do you hate D&D?" No, I don't hate D&D. In fact, when I read through the D&D 2024 books, I was kind of like, "Oh, this is kind of cool." And like a lot of people are like, "Oh, I can't believe it. Paladin Smite spam is gone." And I'm like, okay, good. Like, I'm not mad about that. Like, a lot of.
So I want to clear it up then, what you said earlier, for our audience members who might have thought you were saying that. And I think I understand. When you're like, who cares? All this other stuff is much better. A lot of people, when they hear much better, they assume the thing that was being compared negatively was bad. It sounds like what you were saying is No, the new D&D is good. It's a good product, but these other things are excellent. And they're just not used to you saying positive things about stuff. So they did, since you only made a comparator and didn't give objective ratings, they probably thought you were saying, the indie stuff is okay. And then everything else is terrible.
No, I not to be fair. I mean, listen, I lived through, as you all did, I lived through the D20 third edition glut era, right? I lived through Mongoose Publishing and AEG Publishing and just crap books. I mean, like, just
some of those things Mongoose put out were pretty interesting.
Some of them. Of them. But most of, like, the quintessential series was shovelware. I mean, it was garbage. It was just untested. Someone just, like, you have 2 days to write a 120-page splat book for fighters. And you're just like, that sounds like a feat. Okay. So it was garbage. I think overall, the quality of stuff that's being published and getting, published today is much higher. I think the only place where you still see sometimes crap is sometimes random stuff that shows up on, like, Drive Through RPG or DM's Guild. Even the stuff on itch.io, some of these independent people, it's now, sure, it might not have the slick quality and the incredible, huge art budgets, but some of the design there is so good. What I'm saying is I respect that after 10 years, D&D 2024 was kind of a rehash of the original. And, while they changed some things, they didn't change everything. And it really is sort of a revision 5.5, if you will. And a lot of people are left sort of in a lurch because they're like, well, I wanted change. And then you gave me change, but you didn't give me, like, enough change. And so where does that leave me with the game? And a lot of people are very disappointed with the brand and the game. And not because it's a bad game, but because they're like, I've been playing this for 10 years and I was expecting something to fix it or make something different with it. And they didn't get that. Okay, fair enough.
It's because it's a lose-lose proposition.
It really is.
Those people would have been so happy if they had made lots of big changes, and you would have gotten probably an even larger group that then would be like, this is too much change. I didn't want it to change that much. I just wanted you to fix my things I like to have fixed, which maybe for me is counterspell spam, but not Paladin Smite spam. I already think maybe you changed too much with that. And this version of it was, everything was changed, and I just wanted something similar. So the problem is that ultimately a large fan base as a whole, when you're doing an update or refresh, is impossible to satisfy, not because any one given individual person is an unreasonable human being who is just going to be mad no matter what, but because there are subsections who want things that are diametrically opposed and mutually exclusive.
Yeah, right. No, I think that's a really I think that's absolutely correct. And so, and I get, like, there've been a couple things. I mean, obviously there is a topic here to be discussed, right? Like, there's this, the new starter set, and then obviously there's this announcement, right, that people obviously overreacted to, and that's not what it means. But the whole, like, D&D will be a franchise, internally, not just like a brand thing, like, whatever. What does that mean? And people are like, oh, D&D is finally sold out, blah blah blah. It's like, no, that's not what that means. But it's just like, I get it, like, the way that they need to make money off of D&D, and the fact of the matter is there's a lot of ways to make money off of D&D that have nothing to do with the tabletop role-playing game, and that's totally reasonable. That's completely understandable.
They just launched all their casino games.
Okay,
their D&D casino games.
What I'm saying is there are publishers out there like Roll for Combat, or like this, which just came in the mail yesterday, right? This is my copy of Mythic Bastionland from Chris McDowell. These people are not a brand.
How dare you?
I want a license, right? They are just making TTRPGs. This is how they make their living. This is how they make their money. They do it through creating, innovative new content. They can't just rehash, relying on a 50-year brand history and the fact that everyone's going to buy it because it's D&D. No, they have to come up with something new and innovative and original. And they are, they even have to say it's a complete role-playing game. But
anyhow, let me get into it. So
no,
let me get into it. So here's what the title is. So 1 year ago today, not today, about a year ago, Derek and I were at Gen Con, and Derek and I were very excited because new D&D was coming out. I had to get up early, had to get online to get the player's handbook, and I managed to do it every single day. I managed to get
Still don't know how you managed to do that, but all right.
Because I'm because I'm me. You know that.
It's disturbing.
What do? I get shit done, man. You know,
Right.
that's my motto.
Right.
I got a ton of these. I got so many of these. I didn't know what to do with them. And it was, you know what? A year ago was exciting. It actually was exciting. I was excited. Everyone was still at WoTC. I wanted to see what they were going to do. You know, the art, of course, is beautiful for this book. I mean, the book
The
is
2024 art is, I think, really good. I
It's
mean, I know there's a
insane.
couple of pieces.
No,
There's
no,
a couple
it's
of pieces where
insane.
they have people scratching their head,
I
and they have me
know.
scratching my head too. But
No,
some of the
there's-
pieces, like that picture of the dwarf fighter.
Oh, that picture of the dwarf fighter is
like
like an
so-
11 out of 10. Like the amount of
That's a good
detail on
fighter.
that thing.
There were also some magic using people that were just had really cool looking effects that made me want to be like, I want to play that character.
Yeah, no, this is
Somebody says you have the 2014 book.
no, this is 2014
Yeah,
book.
you're
I got a
flipping
whole
through the
bunch
wrong
of
book.
these. I got these. This is the one. You know why? Because they're all on the same shelf. Where the hell is my book? Shit. Oh, here it is. You know why? I had it next to me because I was referencing it. Sorry.
Uh-huh.
I
There
was like,
you
wait,
go.
this art looks wrong. I was like, there
Yeah.
we go. There we go.
I
Yeah,
love that picture.
You know, people thought that was AI because it was so good. And then they had to defend themselves. Do you remember that? People were like, that's AI. When that came out at PAX Unplugged, and then they had to show.
I remember there was a whole.
They had to show how it was done by
rival
hand.
Where
Yeah.
Can
people-
I say something too?
Yeah.
Which is that even the presentation of this, right, with the font and the little banner here,
Mhm.
I think this gets you excited to play that class.
Yeah.
It feels like a I mean,
No, beautiful
I don't want to say
book.
it feels like a video game, but it feels like a presentation. You know, like
the
welcome to
birds.
the fighter. You know, and
Yeah.
I think that the way that they designed the books, I think, were really great.
No, it's very exciting. You know, I said very, very excited. I was real, you know, I got the books. You and I looked at them. And then cut to, so that was a year ago. Between now and then, everyone had, some of the people we even had dinner with at Gen Con, they aren't even with WoTC anymore. Like, it's like some of these people are just fired. It's like, I went to the press conferences. No one at that, almost no one at that press conference works
Right.
for WoTC anymore.
Yeah.
It is like, what has happened? And here's the thing. So I went out to dinner this week. So once a year, a friend of mine, Mike Shapiro, he's played every adventure path that Eric Mona did to completion. So he played Age of Words to completion, he played Shackle Cities to completion, and he played what was the one? The Island Savage Tides to completion. And he plays a lot of
Demogorgon.
yeah, he did. I'm like, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, who the hell's played all three of those from beginning to end? And he plays in a weekly D&D game forever. And I said to him, so, and I like to talk to the normies, you know, people not like us that are like beyond, like literally you bleed and like D&D letters come out of your bloodstream.
Wait, are you calling someone who played all 3 dungeon adventure paths a normie?
He actually is a normie because he knows nothing about the hobby, but he is a big D&D player.
Okay,
So-
but you can't be that
He's a
prolific and be a normie.
normie.
That's
For me, he's a normie.
a
For
normie
me-
compared to Steven. That's fine.
there
I'll
we go.
accept
He's
it.
normie
I'll accept
compared
it.
to me. But I asked him, well, here's the thing. Actually, he's even better. He's deeply engrossed with D&D, played all this, yet he knew nothing of the OGL scandal. He knew nothing of it. He knew nothing of all these people getting fired. You know, he
Wait,
doesn't
even
know-
when you just met with him.
No, he did after I told them about
Oh
it.
yeah. I was gonna say because
Yeah,
you said
yeah.
you meet him every year, so it was
Well,
like
once
it's
a
been
year.
a while.
Once a year. And so he and I were talking, and I said, well, what are you guys doing? And he's like, oh, yeah, we got the new rules. We're not converting. And I've actually talked to a lot of people. We talked to a lot of people at the conventions. No one converting. No one's going to the new rules. And I said, why? And they're all said the same reason. It's like, there wasn't enough. It didn't do anything. You know, there was nothing that was.
Interesting that that's the case, because when 3.5 came out, and I know people make a big deal about 3.5, and it was a change, to be sure, but most of the changes, I think, were fairly.
The Thief was vastly
Okay.
changed. The Thief was completely redone.
Agree. Well, especially considering there wasn't a thief class; it was a rogue. But
You know what I meant.
I know I'm putting on my Mark hat. The thing is, though, at the end of the day, 3.5 and third edition were technically compatible, and you know what I mean. Like there was some. But everyone went to 3.5.
Everyone.
And
We couldn't go fast enough to 3.5.
And that was after 3 years. So you had, in a 3-year span, everyone went out and bought the Player's Handbook and the Dungeon Master's Guide and the Monster Manual, and they bought Sword and Fist and Monster Manual 2, and they bought Song and Silence, they bought Defenders of the Faith, they bought Tome and Blood, they bought Masters of the Wild, they bought all these books in 3 years. And then 3.5 came out, and everyone threw those books away, and they went and bought the Player's Handbook, the Dungeon Master's Guide, the Monster Manual 3, 4, 5. They bought Complete Warriors, Complete Clerics, Complete whatever. And they bought all those books all over again. Yep. And I see Jimmy saying 3.0 was busted. Did you play 3.5? It was still completely busted.
Yeah, it was completely busted, but it was busted more funly.
Oh.
It was more funly busted. Yay. But so
yeah, they even had the Psionic Handbook, and then they released the expanded Psionic Handbook. And it was like, no, this is just the Psionic Handbook for 3.5.
Someone said in chat that our bundle of holding is active.
Oh, okay.
Was that supposed to happen today?
Yes, I forgot about
really
that.
Good timing then.
I
that we
forgot.
Can tell people about it.
One more thing that happened is that check out the Battlezoo bundle of holding. That's right. Check this out, suckers. You can get the Battlezoo Bestiary, Battlezoo Bestiary Strange and Unusual, Battlezoo Ancestry Dragons, The World of Battlezoo, and the Jewel of the Indigo Isle Adventure Path for 5e for $29.95. Check that out.
Yeah, it's a steal. It's a special bundle of holding that was put together to help raise funds in the wake of the Diamond fiasco.
Yes, you can check that out.
If you want to support us and you don't want to do the Shadowdark Kickstarter because you're more of a 5e person, then you can check out the bundle of holding.
I don't know why, but I just had an idea of like creating a fiasco play set and have it be like the Diamond distribution debacle.
God. You could do that as a fiasco play set.
Yeah, this one's only for 5e. We got a lot of Pathfinder people. We're trying to get more into 5e, and actually, I don't run the bundle of holding.
Bundle of holding. They said that they couldn't make it an or.
Yes.
So basically, it made it. We couldn't do it in two different systems, and they were more interested in doing the 5e.
Yes.
If we could have done an or, we would have put it in or. You know about Steven. If you've learned anything from his Kickstarters and how many tiers he puts in there, if there is a reasonable or that you can ask for, he'll add it in there. He'll be like, oh yeah, that is a reasonable thing people might want. He'll add anything in there. But in this case, bundle of holding just didn't have the tech to do it.
Yep, I couldn't do it. But yeah, bundle of humble just went live. So we did that too. I've been a little busy.
Bundle of humble.
bundle of bundle. But Battlezoo bundle of bundles. They call it the Battlezoo bundle of holding. It's a lot of B's. The B, the B, the B. So my thing is exactly what you just said. When 2.0 came out, like, okay, 2.0 was exciting. I mean, I actually didn't play 2.0 live ever, but I did play 2.0 computer games more than any other game because it's all 2.0. So I know 2.0 real well. 3.0,
like the Black Isle Studio stuff.
Oh yeah, all that. Those are all done, and all those are 2.0. So I know
Baldur's Gate, Icewind Dale, Planescape Torment,
all of them. And I know, I played those to death. I literally have played everything that was left of those games. And 3.0, I played very little. I only played it a little, and then 3.5 came out. So I don't have that much experience. But then we played 3.5 religiously, and then just never stopped. Like, we were playing other things. That's when we got into Magic. When 3.0 was out, in the mid early 90s, that's when Magic came out, and that's like right when we like went all in on Magic. And then 3.5 came out, and then we went all in on both, and then we were doing both constantly. So and even 4th we played heavily. But the point is that each of these was different, and I could not tell you what the hell the difference between version 5 and version 5.5, except Bastions. Remember Bastions?
Yeah, that was I just
remember
okay.
They were like, Bastions is the new thing.
I do not. Now listen, here's what I don't get. This is what I don't get. This is one of the reasons why I do concern myself for Daggerheart's potential success, but also why I don't understand D&D. Because D&D comes out 5th edition. And again, in my mind, after 4th edition, D&D was a retronym, right? I mean, it D&D 5e, in my opinion, is part of the OSR. It is a kind of a cleaned up version of AD&D 2nd edition, in my personal opinion, with a splattering of very subtle rules from 4th edition kind of thrown in there, but done in a sort of a naturalistic language rather than a gamist approach. But here's what I don't get. You look at like D&D 2024, and I'm like, they're like, oh, the starter set is going to be back to the keep on the borderlands. And they're like, and look, we're creating rules for fortresses and creating domains. And I'm like, all of this stuff would appeal to me. Derek, why are you appealing to me? That is what, like, nobody wants or plays D&D like that anymore, in my opinion. I mean, I've talked to tons of people in D&D, and they're like, what's a dungeon, basically? I just don't understand why they are still targeting this nostalgia audience when that's not even close to what made D&D. If you want to argue that like Critical Role and Dimension 20, elevated D&D success in some capacity, even Stranger Things, what you're seeing on the shows in those cases is not D&D as a procedural dungeon crawler. It's D&D as a, rock and rollin', free flowing, storytelling, narrative, get good time, fantasy soap opera. And D&D and their marketing couldn't be further away from that. So I don't get it. I just don't get it. I just
don't get it.
So, Steven, you're saying that if you wanted to make a list of bullet points for what are the big shake-up things that were added, that Bastions is it, what were the big shake-up things that were added in 3.5? Because there weren't. They were just lots of changes that made big differences, but that if you tried to do it, it'd be like, well, haste now it's completely different.
I'll explain the difference.
Old haste.
Okay, I'm going to tell you the difference. You know the difference? You see, 3.0 and 3.5, we had these things called books, and we had this thing called paper and pencils. And when we sat down and used the rules, we all agreed what the rules were, and we played those rules together. The difference between 5 and 5.5 is that everyone now uses D&D Beyond. Now, I know people say that's not true. It's true. Okay, everyone uses it. And that is the crux. That's like AI making us stupid. Well, D&D Beyond is making us stupid, because if it's not on D&D Beyond, you don't know how to do it, because people aren't learning the rules. They're learning how to do it in D&D Beyond.
And yes. I've railed against this many times.
Right. And that's the issue, is that people are having a
People have not done research on whether or not your brain gets like deactivated and atrophied by having tools like D&D Beyond, but they did do it on AI recently. I think there was it was MIT or somewhere. They put out a paper where they found that people who had an AI tool like kind of write their essays for them for a while, when they then had them go back to write it themselves, that like different parts of their brain didn't light up as much, and that their skill when you tried to rate it just looking at it had atrophied and was worse than before they started, than just like any other of the samples that they were testing.
Yesterday, ChatGPT went down for an extended period of time, and I was using it, and it went down.
And suddenly your brain broke. You're like, oh no!
And then I didn't know if it was me, because it said like I was getting some sort of response or problem or something. Yeah, so I Googled it, is ChatGPT down? And of course, it was things on Reddit.
ChatGPT.
There was things on Reddit. And there was this thread on Reddit where someone's like, yeah, I'm getting the same response. And someone's like, yeah, like, it's like, he's like, I went to ChatGPT, and then I was like, hey, no, I have to think for myself. What am I supposed to do? And like, people were like, literally like, I kind of don't remember how to do stuff anymore.
Yes, I know. My point being is that the difference between 3 and 3.5 is that I literally had to go buy the books and devour them and read them and fully understand the rules. And if you're using 5.0 and 5.5, I can't tell you how many people, and hell, even for Pathfinder now, because I use online VTTs, that if it's not on Path Builder, They don't know how to do it. They don't know how to do it. They actually don't know how to do it. And they don't read the full rules. They don't digest it like we used to in the old days. They only digest what they need to know, and they look up what they need to know on the online tools. And so that's the difference.
It felt like it was a bigger change because you actually had to learn what the changes were.
Correct. For
Rather
all
than
we know,
have them sort of secretly added into the website you were using, and you just come across them.
For all we know, the rules of 5.5 could be more extensive than the difference between 3 and 3.5. But it's impossible to know. I mean, that's not true. They actually did come out with a very detailed report. There's something on their site that shows all the differences between 5 and 5.5, which is kind of amazing that they did that. And it breaks down every single change. But the point is that people are so used to just like using the online tool sets that they can't comprehend all the changes. And they're like, you know what? I'm just using what I use. I'm not going to the new one. I know what I know. I don't want to learn these new things. Hell, they were complaining. Okay, so my guys play Pathfinder. And all the tool sets changed to remaster, Mark, all of them. And we're not using remaster. We're still using, the old Pathfinder, and they're freaking out. They're yelling at it because like, I can't find this spell. I can't find this. I can't find that because everything had to be renamed. And they're pissed. They're pissed. And that was just renaming.
It was very difficult in this most recent Pathfinder 2 campaign that we started. It's the first one that we've played since remaster. And like none of us could remember that True Strike was now Sure Strike.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And then
they're like, oh, what's off guard? And I'm like,
Gary, here's a life hack for you.
Yeah.
If you don't use Nethys' own search, it's not always the best, but if you Google Nethys 2E and the name of your old spell, and you click on whatever the result is, it will if you're just like, I know it's something, I don't know what it is, it will pull up the page with the new one, whatever the name is.
Well, traditionally,
you having to know what that name is.
Laptops and electronics are verboten at our table.
Oh,
but don't you play online?
No, we played a table. This is my home game.
Okay,
but it was so bad that this is the first time that I'm even using a laptop because I'm like, it's too hard for me to make that switch over. And then because even then we looked up. Okay, we had to find it. Flip. Okay, we found it. Sure Strike, and sure enough, it was in the core book. But they've already errated it because the version in remaster core says Sure Strike is Sure Strike, and then there's an errata for Sure Strike now that you can only cast it once every 10 minutes or whatever. Yeah. So even the new printed version with the updated name is wrong.
That's correct.
And that makes a sizable difference, obviously, especially when you've got like a Magus in your party. And so
it's
we got a super chat from Avenue Studios for $20 that said, "Hail RFC, a little love from AVS during this diamond debacle. Appreciate all you do for the hobby."
And here is my 3-page brief sent to Diamond's lawyers today. Actually sent to the court, so we'll see how this goes.
That's going to be on the 21st, right? That's Monday.
Woo! What a week!
It'll be one day before the Kickstarter launches.
Oh boy! Until next week is all I'm going to say is make sure you subscribe and make sure next week we're going to have Michael on. Michael who co-wrote the books. Yep, and we might have some more surprises. That's all I can say right now. We got so many things happening. I can't even talk about it.
I don't know if you're going to be allowed to talk about it, but I think people will be really excited to know like what the next phase of what happened with the diamond thing is once it happens.
We're sending the Pinkertons after them.
Oh no!
The Pinkertons
be like Steven didn't show up on Wednesday because the
Pinkertons kick in the door to the diamond warehouse.
I hate to break it to you.
If the diamond sent the Pinkertons,
I would send Steven. People way more scary than the Pinkertons. You know that. The Pinkertons would be low on the list of the people I would send.
Even the Pinkertons are pretty scary. How do you have people that are much scarier than them? Are you going to say Alan is that much scarier than the Pinkertons?
No, I'm not going to. I won't go there. But let's just say I have when I get pulled over by cops, I show certain cards and get out of it pretty quick. Leave it at that. So
Delta Force.
There you go.
There's Illuminati groups I belong to. That's all I'm gonna say.
Steven is part of the secret police.
Hey man, I'm part of I'm part of that whole
Avenue. What race from the Indian Isles would the RFC Pinkertons be? Obviously Gamayan, right? I mean, they're obviously the most vicious, conniving sons of bitches in the whole freaking world.
No, I think the Pinkertons might be Hardigans.
They would be Hardigans. Hardigans are nasty.
Really, they enjoy something that lets them tough. Kind of rough somebody up a little.
They're super strong. Yeah, no,
they're very tough. They're strong. So I think a Hardigan would be
or
a good choice.
Or the Zoddle.
Zoddle might enjoy that because of the fact that they believe hardship builds character and makes you stronger.
Yeah.
So they could also be a good choice.
By the way, so feel free, super chat. We have 350 people and only 63 likes. Pathetic. That's
true. Somebody in chat even commented to the other chatters. Also, we got a super chat from Danjamin 905 for $5 Canadian. It says, I play 5e and like that amount of crunch, but I prefer games with less, like Daggerheart. Should I try Pathfinder? So here's what I would say to you, Danjamin.
As the guy who wrote the rules.
Is that Pathfinder has more rules than 5e, but they are also more consistent. So it's the kind of game where once you learn the principles behind the rules will make enough sense that even if you, in a lot of cases, it's the rule that you would just try to improvise or make up the ruling on your own, will be super close to what was in the actual book. And I've heard that from a lot of people who played it. So if that's how your brain works and like learning the principles behind a structured set of rules will help you to make calls on the fly and feel more confident in it, some people find it easier to GM. However, if you more prefer something that's like very loose and narrative, where it's just kind of just what you're feeling at the time, and you don't have to worry about that kind of structure, and the structure makes you anxious instead of feel supported, I would say you might not necessarily want to go for Pathfinder. Like it's for different folks. And as one of the creators of Pathfinder, there are different folks who like different things. And I don't think everybody can or should like Pathfinder as one of their favorites, but I hope that people who do get kind of anxious, feeling unsupported with rulings, but who can get into sort of the mindset and understand the logic behind the rules are enjoying Pathfinder and the way that it helps them both improvise and use the rules to run fun games.
Yeah.
That's my short spiel.
So the other one I wanted to talk about, so they announced yesterday the starter set, which is absolutely gargantuan and packed with stuff. Okay.
It looks like really feature packed compared to their other starter sets were threadbare to be cheap.
They're threadbare, garbage. But this one looks... They're printed on terrible paper. I mean, these things are garbage.
The old ones, you mean?
Oh, yeah, the old one is terrible.
The content in them was good, but the quality of every component was low on purpose. And you know what? It worked in some ways. We had, I was at Paizo when there were a lot of times people would come over and look at the Paizo beginner box, which had like twice as much stuff with much higher quality. And I'm not saying low quality in terms of like the writing. I'm talking about the components, which was intentional for the D&D one to make it threadbare. And people will be like, but why is this so much more than the D&D one? I don't get it. It's not even D&D. And then they would explain, well, you know, it's got this much more stuff. It's all high quality. There's this flip mat, which is like that. It's not just like basic low quality paper. They'd be like, I don't care. It's so much more than the D&D one. So I can understand why they did the low quality one before. And in some ways, at least for some people, it did work. But I'm excited about the high quality one because I think it's a cool looking product.
I think it looks fantastic. And so it comes out and it's $50. And you can buy the digital version and the print version for $55. Now, when I saw that, I thought to myself, that's a good deal. I mean, maybe it's a little expensive, especially when you see some of the other starter sets that are coming from other companies, and some of them are only $29.95 and some are like $39.95. I'm literally talking about Dragon Maid. But so it really comes down to, should they have priced it at $29.95 and just losing money on everyone sold, which is, they would lose money. I guarantee that's it. Or even $39.95 and probably still lose money. Or should they probably barely break even and probably still lose money if they sell it at $50? And people are like, well, it's coming from China and there's going to be tariffs on it and it's more expensive. And the answer is yes. Do you I'm like, people, everything's going to get a lot more expensive. Like, this is the beginning. Like, you were freaking out about this. Wait until you freak out about everything being more expensive, because that's what happens when you put a 30 to 50 to 100% tax on everything. It's going to get more expensive. And that's just the way it is. In fact, I didn't tell you this, Derek. I got into a huge fight on July 4th. I was sitting around with bankers, freaking bankers. And not if I told you how powerful these guys were, trying to explain tariffs to them because they didn't understand.
You told me about that. I couldn't get it, how they didn't know.
Well, they were like, why does the price have to go up? I was explaining why a $50 thing is now $80.
Yeah, you showed them the math and they still didn't
get it. They were like, oh, they don't get it. It's like, why is it not bankers? Yeah, why does it go from 50 should be like 55? I'm like, no, that's not how it works.
I was trying to explain all that. People that I know that like went from MIT math, they would have gotten what you said. So I'm kind of concerned for the people who use your guys, and by your guys I don't mean your actual guys.
I don't use these guys. I don't know these guys.
Who use your neighbors for finance, that they can't do the math that you.
They were getting lost. Like, trying to explain to them how it works and how the buying works and all this. I won't. Basically, how it works is this is what's important. Let me explain. Actually, I'll explain it to you why it's $50. Okay.
But before you explain why it's $50 to them, I want to explain something else about $50. Which is Agile Monk just did a super chat for $50. Steven, I have friends in high and low places, including special operations forces talent. If you ever need it, love you and Mark, and yes, Derek too.
Yeah, I have friends in those places.
I'll keep that in mind, Agile Monk.
I have friends in those places too.
I do not, because I don't have friends. That's
that would be a prerequisite. Now, Steven, give us that breakdown of the increase. We've done it on the channel before. It's always interesting and it's always very enlightening because it shows that, like, if you don't adjust for the tariff or you just add in the flat amount, that you wind up like losing money.
I'm going to do a more simplified version because I've done this in the past, but this is what it comes down to. Walmart and all the big box stores will pay you a percentage based on the MSRP. Okay, so the MSRP price is what's important. That's all that matters. Okay, and the MSRP price. So I'm going to just make this simple. So say Walmart will give you 40% of what the MSRP price is. So if I'm selling a box set to you for if I'm saying this box set's $50, that means for every box set that I sell to Walmart, Walmart will give me $20. Okay? That's it. That's all you need to know. And if I don't,
and that's a good situation. With distributors, you could wind up getting less than $20.
Yeah, you can get
very, very easily.
Yeah, you can get $15. Okay.
Yes.
But it's based off the MSRP. That's the math. So I have to change. Now, Walmart can sell it for $25. They can sell it for $20. It doesn't matter. The MSRP is that is the math that everyone uses based on the percentage. So whatever the MSRP is based on how much money I will get when I sell it to you, whether it's, Best Buy or Barnes and Noble or Walmart or Target. That's how it's figured out. It's figured out by MSRP. So the MSRP has to go up. So that's the thing, is that if they made the MSRP, they being WoTC, made the MSRP $30, they would only get 40%. What's that? $12. $12. So they'd only get $12. And really, it's closer to 10. Let's be realistic. They're going to get around $10.
Yeah, so, realistically 10. But but it costs to print the book.
It's way more than $10. It's way more than $10.
Printing and shipping without the tariffs is going to be at least that much.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
And so not only that, once you add in a tariff, well, that tariff's on the full MSRP. It's not a tariff on the amount of money you were going to get.
No, actually, this is how it. So here's the thing: the tariff is supposed to be on the full. That's what's so insane. Can you imagine? The tariff is actually supposed to be on the full MSRP.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's on the full MSRP.
It's not. It's on. If you file an exemption, which everyone does, and you get the tariff on your manufacturing costs. So it's only 30% of your manufacturing costs, but it doesn't matter.
It's only 30% of your manufacturing costs.
Most of the times now
that's still very bad.
It's still
but
bad.
It's not like your company is destroyed.
Yes.
Levels. I thought it was on the MSRP.
It's actually
if it's
supposed
on the MSRP,
to be.
You're done.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. Hey, by the way, Jess is here. Hey, Jess. Roll for combat. You come for the clickbait D&D title, but you stay for the business and accounting advice. Jess, are you going? To Gen Con? But Jess,
I just asked her that.
Oh, you just asked Jess. You should do a signing at our booth because you did some of our books. You could sign some of the books you did. I have them at the booth. So
that's right. You give up your vacation to go do some work.
She loves hanging out with us. She loves hanging out with Jess.
Steven is allowing the people who don't have a spot to do signings at the booth. He's not saying that they have to work the booth in any other way. He's just saying that they can get a spot in Gen Con without paying for it to have people come to do signings of all their books, not just the Roll for Combat books. Jess has a large assortment of books for multiple companies.
Jess, you'll be fine. We'll take care of you. Don't worry.
Right.
Steven has connections in high places.
They do. But don't worry, you'll hang out with us. We'll
but I think that Jess gave us what could be like our tagline. Like you could put it in the channel description. Come for the clickbait D&D title, stay for the business and accounting advice.
Yes,
well, the point is that so let's
that's the most accurate depiction of this channel, or not this channel, but this specific stream that I've ever seen in my life.
I've learned so much about like business and legal issues and like complicated stuff about economics
and how the inner workings
from
of the
videos
Hollywood.
It sounded to me when I saw the title, which Steven did not vet with me in advance, like they would be clickbait D&D videos, but then they weren't.
Whoops.
Right.
Or maybe that made them more clickbait because they had additional topics in them. I don't know. We had another super chat from Torn180. Just got in here. Did you hear about Green Ronin putting together a GoFundMe to sue Diamond?
Yes, they're doing very well. I think they were trying to get 50 grand. And they, I don't know, they got about 35,000 so far. I think they made up to, they're kind of, if someone wants to look up to see where they're at, they're doing really well. I feel for Green Ronin. I talk to my lawyer every single day, literally. I mean, I spoke to him something like 5 times today alone, and I've known him since 10th grade, and the guy is an absolute monster. So I have advantages that most people don't, is that I have insanely good representation, and he does a lot of stuff for me pro bono because I also do stuff for him technology-wise pro bono, and he's also one of my best friends. So between the two of us, he actually put together a defense with me, but then Gamma reached out to me, and Gamma is going to represent me. But my lawyer told their lawyers what to do. And so...
Well, I'm glad that Alan is calling the shots because he knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
I have full trust in him.
Oh, yeah.
So Jess had a follow-up, which is also what she told me when I asked her the same thing, because you told me to ask her about signings, which is that she doesn't expect typically to have anything issues at the border, but Gen Con specifically worries her because she's there as a vacation, but some people could try to say it was an attempt to work because it's related to the tabletop RPG industry. If they have a bee in their bonnet, because she is a freelancer and it's not work, it's a vacation to go see the show. Like that's why she's more worried about that in particular, and then a normal just visit.
Well,
Green Ronin made it sound like they had a lot.
Oh, they did. Yeah, a lot of people. I mean, I have a lot.
They have new things that are coming out that they can't get, and they're just like completely fucked. And they also talked about how it sounds like they really relied on that. I think they said that was their only distribution channel.
Oh well.
So I think they're basically saying so not only is it bad because we got our shit stolen from us, but even if they didn't steal all of our stuff, this would still be a huge issue for us because we just lost our distribution channel.
And Green Ronin's stuff is really good. So
their stuff's great.
I mean,
it's really bad. But
the now it's called Chronicle, but the Song of Ice and Fire role-playing game, which I think is by Schwab, is a fantastic book, and that's by Green Ronin.
So, I mean, we'll find out next week. To be honest,
never regretted a purchase from Green Ronin, even though they have a lot of different authors and different genres of stuff.
I mean, I would say that aside from Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder, the game that I have played the most is Mutants and Masterminds.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
I didn't realize that. I've played Mutants and Masterminds a decent amount, but surely not even close to as much as you have if that was your next one after those two.
So back to the accounting. You can see, so that's basically why they did it, because it really comes down to this. If they made the price $30, that means they would probably make about $10 per box set. I'm gonna say about $10 to $12 per box set. That's it. And it's gonna at least cost them
for a box set and not a book
to $20
that's crazy
for that
expensive.
Yeah, they're gonna
crazy expensive.
It's gonna cost them about $15 to $20.
And they'll get the full tariffs on it because it's in a box.
Yeah, and because it's in a box, like I've actually told the people, if you print a book, the tariff's 7.5%. If you take that book and put it in a box, it's like 30, 55%. I keep forgetting. They keep changing them. It's bad.
Will they tariff in a box? Will they tariff with a fox? Will they tariff here or there? They might tariff anywhere.
Well, that's what's happening. So it's $50 because of now they get to keep $20. And maybe that's them literally just breaking even. And everyone's freaking out. They're like, that's too expensive. That's too expensive. Maybe, but guess what? This is the beginning of everything. You're going to literally see everything this Christmas and say, why is it so much? And this is why, especially in toys. Because I actually have a friend of mine here. He wasn't here. This is actually how we started talking about the stuff at 4th of July. One of my neighbors around here, he's a toy manufacturer. And the toy manufacturers, the Toy Guild, if these tariffs go through, they assume by next year, 30 to 50% of all toy manufacturers in the United States will go out of business because everything is made in China. It has to be. I won't get into all that stuff. You can't make it in the United States. And if you did, it would be way more expensive. So it's not that, oh, you can't make it here. No, you can make it here. If you want it to be way, way more expensive, you can make it here. So the issue is that they can't just throw these. No, I don't even know what tariff I'm paying. That's the thing. It's like every day the tariff is different. I can't plan tomorrow, let alone next year. And we plan things 2 years in advance. So you can't just throw things in there. So anyhow, everyone's saying, oh, things are too expensive. But yeah, that's the way it's going to be. I hate to break it to you. And I don't think $50 is that bad considering what you're getting.
Considering how much more is in there, it looks much more deluxe than the cheaper one before. People just, for the same reason they got sticker shock on the Pathfinder box when it had a lot more deluxe stuff in it than the D&D, they're getting sticker shock on this one because it has a lot more deluxe stuff in it than the previous D&D one.
Yeah, I'd just like to point out several things though. Yeah. Like, just remember, costs have gone up. I bought the PDF for a 13-year-old game this week to do a first look on it, which is Hill Folk by Robin Laws. It was $20 for the PDF. I think the Shadowdark PDF is $40.
Yeah.
That's for a PDF, $40. So, yeah, I mean, costs have definitely gone up. So, when we talk about a box set being, oh my God, I can't believe this box set is, $60. I mean, a digital PDF is $40. So, it's if you get two lattes at Starbucks, it's $15.
Well, that's the thing. This is what I come down, and I've said this to Mark many times when he and I talk about pricing. I say, what is the price of a cup of coffee? And that is really like, what is the price of a cup of coffee? What is the price of 2 slices of pizza and a Coke? And use that as your, and it's like right now, a sandwich and a soda can be $25.
Right.
So it's like people don't say, I was like, oh, $50 so much. I'm like, dude, that's 2 meals.
Yeah. I mean, like I think part of the problem is, well, this is part of a broader problem, but TTRPG players tend to be very siloed in a weird way. And they tend to be very unappreciative and demanding. And they tend to be very picky and bad customers in some ways. But like, if you play other type games, like if you play any sort of war game, God forbid if you play a GW game, you're like, oh, I'm going to go buy 3 Terminators. And you're like, okay, that's $90.
Right.
For 3 models for your whole thing. I see people complaining about the price of these books, but then they go and they buy some whiz kids shit paint job set of minis for like $80 or $90, you know, or some deluxe Tiamat, and it's like $280 for one mini that you'll use.
Here's the thing that gets me on that, Derek. I'm with you, but like I can sort of see why they got more excited by the deluxe Tiamat, even though as the person who makes the books, I'm just like kind of Here's what gets me. Okay, when I've seen this happen, like at a show where someone comes up to my booth, they look at the book, they hear about the book, they love it. Their face is like full of excitement. Then they were like, okay, so how much is it? And it's like, you know, $50, something like that. And they put it back and they leave and they go to a booth I can visibly see with dice. And they buy one set of dice for more than that much.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Minis, I get it. A giant Tiamat is a really exciting mini. But how may have happened to us? More excited.
That may have been exactly our situation
for one set of dice.
That may have exactly been our situation at PAX, Mark.
For one set of dice,
there was literally
this, and not be willing to respect the work of the artists, of the authors, and everyone else who put together that book.
Yeah.
And think that it's worth that much money. It blows my mind.
Yeah. And especially because you know that they have a ton of dice. You know, like, and it's like, and while there are some really cool, you know, bespoke dice out there that I personally rank very low tier because I am very, I think dice are a tool, not an art showpiece. But dice, I think, Jess, by the way, Mark, said the exact same thing in chat, which is...
Yeah, Jess said the exact same thing before me. I knew, like, Jess and I have similar views on a lot of things.
We should get Jess on the show. Jess, you want to come on the
show? But, yeah, it's crazy. Mark, it's insane. It really is insane.
And D&D has ramped up their prices significantly recently, so I haven't done the math after they did. But before they did that, like, if you look at the 2014 books... the cost had gone down with inflation, even compared to the 1974. It's in this crappy binder, you know, the box where like it wasn't even a book. Like they didn't even get a book cover on everything. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like the very first thing that you could buy. It had gone down. Not only had the price gone down with inflation, it went down even more per page, and it went down even more per word because the number of words they fit on a page was very small. And that doesn't even count the fact that they were real books, that they were color art, which is 10 times as expensive, that they were on good quality paper. Now, yes, D&D raised its prices significantly recently. Maybe it's not less now with inflation. Maybe it's a little more for much better quality paper, color. It's on a real book, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Well, I think people... I don't know what people are thinking. I think people are making a mountain of a molehill. I think they're comparing it to old stuff that came out 10 years ago when pricing was different. Oh, you know, all that stuff. Actually, someone, Jedi Protector, said, oh, right, because right now in the world of video games, everyone is complaining because video games have gone up to $80. Well, we did a video about this about 6 months ago.
Yeah, Steven found a set of slides that basically posited that video games might be in trouble if that Grand Theft Auto that was about to come out when we did the video didn't put it up to $80. They were like, this is a very dangerous time for video games. We really need them to put it up to $80 because if they don't, others can't. And it was a very interesting presentation.
That's the thing, is that right now, I know $80 sounds like a lot for a video game, but if you adjust for inflation and you go back in time, it's like it's the same price. We're all paying the same price.
Well,
I don't want to get liberal socialist here, but the problem isn't that the inflation has raised the prices. That happens. The problem is that groceries prices have gone up too. And
everything is.
And the problem is wages have not kept up with that inflation.
No, that you're 100% right.
And so if everybody was making, $50 an hour now, if the median household income was like $110,000, people wouldn't care as much about paying $80 for a book, right? Or whatever for, a dozen eggs. The problem is that they haven't And so now they have less discretionary money because the cost of the mandatory things like rent and food and things have gone up. And so then if the price of their hobby, which is totally discretionary, has gone up, they have now been, the key is they have now been priced out of that range. Right? That's the key, is that their wages have not kept up with that. Their other costs have come. And so now that small increase in TTRPGs went from I can afford this to I can't afford this.
So every time this topic comes up, I ask the same quiz question. Let's see if Steven's memorized it by now, which is when the game Chrono Trigger
I already know where you're
came out. When it came out in the Super Nintendo in 1995, what was the price?
I'm going to say 35.
Okay, Derek says 35. That is more wrong than what Steven guessed the last time it was there. I think Derek wasn't actually here.
I don't remember.
Steven left his chair, so maybe
I'm looking for something. I'm looking for something.
I mean, to be fair,
maybe he's given up.
I think
it was $79.95.
Oh, so Steven has gotten the lowest price anyone was able to get it to. Depending on what store you got it from. Toys R Us had 90. Savages had $84.99. And there were some places that had it as low as $79.99 if you were lucky. That's correct.
Dude,
which is $80. It's the same thing people are complaining about paying now. And in 1995, do you know how much that is now?
Yeah, but was that some sort of like import problem? Because like Final Fantasy 2 and Final Fantasy 3 wasn't that much money. I got one
better than that. Sword of Vermilion. Jess is joining us. Woohoo!
She said she will not talk about D&D though.
No, that's no problem. We can talk about everything except
we're barely talking about it.
We're barely talking about it. Sword of Vermilion, which is not a good game in any way, shape, or form. By the way, it says Derek and Michael. You're Michael now, Jess. Sorry.
Cool.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You're
hi. Nice to meet you all. I'm Michael from Night Noon Games.
Oh, you got to turn down your mic. Your mic is way too loud.
Oh, shoot.
So Derek, Final Fantasy 6 in 1994.
Yeah.
AKA Final Fantasy 3.
AKA Final Fantasy 3 in the US.
1994.
Yeah.
$79.99.
Wow.
How am I doing?
$9.99.
Still too loud.
You're still very loud.
Still too loud. How am I doing?
That's better.
That's much
Sword
better.
of Vermilion came out 1991. Awesome. Piece of garbage. 5.5 from IGN. Oh, there's 95 people like this game. I bought that. I went to the mall in the year of 1991. And how much you think Sword of Vermilion for the Genesis in 1991? How much that cost?
$100.
$79.95.
Yeah, I mean, okay, fine, but also at that time,
was the equivalent of that is.
Oh, look, the actual
buying...
Michael who Jess was pretending to be is in the chat.
Oh God, don't Michael, you can't join too.
You have infinite power now, Jess.
Yeah.
By the way, so yeah, that's equivalent to $186. But I have one better. I have the best one of all. My favorite one that I always say this: Warcraft, not Warcraft 2, not Warcraft 3, not
the original
Warcraft. The original Warcraft. How much was Warcraft when it came out?
Yeah, that was probably definitely in the $60s or $70, right?
They've all been $80, so $80 is my guess.
$89.95.
Yeah, it's $90. So
$90.
Okay, it was a much right, but it
back then though,
that was like $220.
You didn't sell it to as many people,
right? It was
more of a luxury product for the small niche of people in the know. Whereas what happened is the reason why people are like, "What? How is this even possible?" Especially after inflation, that's an absurd amount of money. Is that it then went down once it hit the mass market and you could sell at a volume where you wouldn't just suddenly destroy your company for selling much lower.
I'm busy cherry picking games. Anyhow, Michael, aka Jess, I just read Figments. It is so good. I love your Figments. I love Jess. Jess writes the best ancestries. She does.
I had to lean a lot on Mark for getting like the lore parts of the Figment finished. There was a family death while I was writing it. Yikes. And so I got like the mechanics into Mark, and I got some notes for where I was planning on going with everything, but Mark really took it over the finish line for me.
It was a team effort. We'll do a co-authorship on it, but if it hadn't been like Jess left a lot of comments, so it was very clear like what I should be focusing on and what the themes and what sort of the messages of the ancestry
So,
were.
Derek, a Figment is you get to play a cartoon in the world of D&D and Pathfinder. I see he's going to take something and kill himself. He's like...
If Derek actually uses it, he'll probably be one of the people in the sidebar that says that he doesn't like the feats.
In there.
He's not going to like the feats where you come into you break the fourth wall.
Wait, there's a new ability. There's a new spell. It's a cantrip. You know what it's called? Anvil drop. You drop an anvil on someone, an anvil just appears out of the air and drops on you.
If they critically fail, little birdies go around their head and then they are dazzled, so they can't see because the birds are in front of their eyes.
That's an important part of being a cartoon character, is being able to drop anvils on people.
Yes, and you can do whatever you want. Anvil drop.
This is a hobby for everyone. This is a hobby for everyone. This is a hobby for everyone.
Derek, don't you like classic film Cool World?
Cool World?
I do not like Cool World.
Terrible.
Cool World is terrible.
Excuse me.
Terrible movie.
If you had said Who Framed Roger Rabbit, I could maybe get behind you on that one.
No, there's multiple references and homages to Roger Rabbit in there.
There's a million in here.
There's a heritage that is like the Jessica Rabbit one that even says, you were just drawn that way.
Yes.
That's correct.
There's a whole bunch. Yeah, there's
But see,
there's one called The More You Know. That's not really. That's more of a.
No, that's more of like in the 80s where they had to put a moral at the end of each cartoon to try to like teach you about things.
Right.
Where you basically tell your team is like only you can prevent dungeon fires, or don't use poisons and drugs or something like that, and then you give a saving throw bonus against like that kind of thing that your team had been attacked by.
There's a feat called "That's All, Folks." And one called Nightmare Fuel. Nightmare Fuel.
Self-referential meme culture. I just don't want it in my TTRPGs. I'm sorry.
Little Birdies. That's the name of a reaction.
I determined that I needed That's All, Folks when I was in Disneyland and was riding the Roger Rabbit ride.
There you go.
See, look, it's a structural thing. I, Derek, have never been to Disney World or Land.
Oh my God! What is wrong with you?
And have no interest in it. And when I see full-ass adult people going to Disney World, and they're like, I love it, it's a world of magic. I go, what is wrong with you?
I went to Disneyland by myself last year.
I also went to Disneyland by myself last year.
You know what?
Mark, why don't you just tell me about how you went to Disneyland?
No, I didn't. But my dad dragged my mom, who hates amusement parks, to Universal's, whatever the heck their thing was.
Universal's fantastic.
No, but their new one.
Yes.
The new one that they just opened.
That one is supposed to be, that one has gotten reviews, out of control reviews. They say it's one of the best amusement parks ever made.
Why would you go to Epic Universe right now, though? Unless the thing that you're going
on the launch, which is even crazier. There were no children. There's just him and my mom, and they were like, "There's a Mario thing there," which they said because
it is. It's pretty cool looking.
Yeah, but they said Mario because it's literally a name. You would think that it could be pronounced correctly, but they don't really know who Mario is. But they're like, "Yeah, it was cool," and they totally went to it, Derek, but not me. Don't worry, Derek.
That being said, I do respect Disney, not only as a money-making, greedy corporation that has controlled all forms of media, but like they really do go above and beyond. Like I've seen so many videos of like where they have the park employees who like, a little girl comes up and she's deaf, and then they know how to sign, and like they're able to make like a very like important and lasting impression with them, and just like they go above and beyond to be in character and really connect with the kids, and it seems really cool for a kid, for a child. I can imagine how that could leave a magical and lasting impression.
Well,
on someone under the age of 14.
You and I have to go on a little trip, Derek.
Yeah, what I had as a child was a VHS tape that was, the entire tape was just a commercial for the Disney like timeshare product
Oh, I
where you
remember
have a
that.
timeshare Disney hotel. And so they were
Yes.
advertising the rooms and the hotels and the parks and everything to you on this VHS tape. So that's my childhood connection to the
Wait,
Disney parks,
I got
is
one.
watching this VHS tape over and over.
I have that too. We stayed at the timeshare when I went to Disney World, and then my parents had to go sit in the lecture and say, no, we don't want it. But we did get to stay in it. And it was like a 2-story like apartment complex with a kitchen and everything. It was great.
Yeah.
I feel like we're just finding out who on this stream, to make a reference to Changeling the Dreaming, who on this stream has a lot of banality, Derek, and who is still a dreamer at heart, even though we might be older.
On the long list of World of Darkness games that I would never play, Changeling is definitely at the bottom.
Oh, well, now your banality has increased again. You're an autumn
Wait,
now you're
Derek.
fighting. Now those are fighting words.
It's at the bottom of the games that you wouldn't play. Therefore, you.
So you're playing it with Jess and Gen Con.
Right.
That's what I just heard.
Real quick. All right, I don't know anything from New World of Darkness. I only know Old World of Darkness.
I'm talking about Old World of Darkness.
What Old World of Darkness game am I the most likely to play and have played and would play again?
You?
Yeah.
I think Derek
Mage.
might play Mage.
Okay, Mage is your guess. Mage, Steven?
Probably Mage.
No. Solgathar got it right in chat.
What is it? Werewolf?
Hunter, because you get to
Hunter
kill all
Dragon?
those.
Oh,
I
Hunter
forgot
was
about
my-
Hunter.
You get to kill the Fae and the mages and the lycanthropes and the
Hunter was my
vampires.
second guess. I knew you wouldn't pick werewolf or vampire, any of those. I
love-
wanted the one
I
that was
love
like the
vampire.
most human.
To be clear,
and so Hunter was my second
I like
choice.
werewolf. too.
Rage, the card game, was my jam, and I did love Rage, the card game, and that
I
is
have it
obviously
in my
based off
closet,
of the
right over there.
of Werewolf.
Also, point of order, but it's Animal Kingdom, not Wild Kingdom.
I
It
acquiesce
is
to
Animal
your.
Kingdom, by the way.
It is.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're
And
gonna you're
Animal
getting-
Kingdom is where you go to the world of Avatar, because the Na'vi are animals like humans.
Oh boy, we are going to totally gang up on Derek this stream. This
No,
is
that's
fun.
fine. Listen, I've been going. No. Listen, you've met Smith. Smith loves Disney World. In fact, when Smith goes to Disney World with his family, he usually like helps or like he goes wrong with another family, and then like he will pay their like teenage daughter like a good chunk of money to basically be like, you're taking my kids for the day, so me and my wife can go get drunk at Epcot, and like we can just have a day to ourselves in Disney. He loves Disney, and you know Smith,
Oh,
he's
I
a
do.
cynical son of a bitch. I'm the one who's dead inside.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, no, I said it, Derek. You're an autumn person. That's just what happened. You've been overcome by banality, and now you just exude
Well, I
it
see the
around
viewers
you.
going down, so they must love our talk of Disney.
Well, no D&D talk allowed while
No
Jess is
D&D
on the
talk
thing
about.
here,
But what do you guys want us to talk about? In fact, you are now in charge of the show, viewers, dear viewers. All
I thought
300
Jess was in charge
plus
of the show.
you.
Wasn't this her show?
Well, it is her show.
It's true.
It is her show.
It is my show.
We haven't seen you
Michael,
for a while,
run this
Jess.
show.
We have not seen you. I do hope you do come, because if you come, you can hang out at our booth and sign your books.
I would like to come. I'm just feeling really nervous about it.
Oh, I would absolutely feel nervous
Oh yeah,
about
I
it.
would find it.
did
is
live
it still
here.
The
on?
argument you have made for why you are nervous is the type of thing that I would be anxious enough that I also
Right, you're like, well, rules is written.
Is this the one?
yeah, it's like rules is written, this is fine, but we don't
Yeah.
but I have dealt with enough fans who think that they know what the rules is written are, or that they've come out with their own rules as intended, that I don't want an ICE person to be that fan who has decided that they have their own interpretation of the rules, right?
Beowulf, I'm from Canada.
A.
But you
But,
were
like,
going to Disney.
Are you from real Canada, or are you from like Southern Canada?
What's real Canada?
You know, like I live up in like
Saskatchewan?
You're like
Saskatchewan or something like that.
Yukon?
Do
You
you
want to go to the
think
Yukon territories? You want to go to
do you
PEI? Come on, man.
Are you under the impression that Saskatchewan does not share a border with the United States?
It does.
So
What's-
why are
what-
you asking, am I from Southern Canada or am I from Saskatchewan?
Whitehorse? You want her to be from Whitehorse? Come on, man.
Like, there's a difference between being from like if you're from America, there's a difference between being from like the Great Plains and Texas versus being like from the East Coast or LA. Right?
Okay.
Like there's like civilized America and then there's like wild America. So are you from
Is Saskatchewan the only real province? Or
No,
what is this category of real provinces?
I've been to Toronto and I've been to Montreal and then like they're cosmopolitan thing, and then but I've also been to Banff and Calgary and British Columbia, aside from Vancouver, and it's it's God's country. It's pretty wild out there.
It's different. I've been to the Calgary Stampede more than once.
So Calgary is not like a city in your classification here?
It is, but it come on, it's a city, and then there's just
we still don't know where Jess is from, by the way.
Right. And if you're from like Prince Edward Island, I know nothing.
Because I've been there. I've been to every.
If I were from Prince Edward
province.
Island, I would be saying A.
Hey, I've been to every province except the one way north.
All I'm saying is, if you're from Ontario, you can pass as an American. That's all I'm saying.
And I've driven up the Alcan Highway.
So if you're from Ontario, it's safe to come over to America because you can probably pass as an American and ICE won't bother you. But if you're from some other part of Canada, then you're going to be Canadian and they might stop you and give you crap.
So Ontario is an entire province.
Right.
And there are what if I told you I was from Thunder Bay?
Okay. We just had a patron of ours from Thunder Bay.
I'm not from Thunder Bay. I'm just asking hypothetically.
Right. And he's very American passing. So I will give him the credence.
Where are you from, Jess?
Okay. When I tell you where I'm from, that's going to allow you to determine.
I'll look it up in your contract. I can look it up.
Don't do that.
Yeah, you can do that. That's fine. That's fine. Anyway, when I tell you where I'm from, that's going to determine how American passing I am, and my behavior does not factor into this.
I'm saying I think the people looking at your passport would make that determination.
Oh, I see.
Wait,
because
you're saying that the people looking at the passport are biased towards certain provinces?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
Definitely.
the passport, though,
Definitely.
I don't know what's going on with your passports in America. My passport does not actually have an address on it. Oh. It's a Canadian passport, but it has it has its date of issue. Either. Yeah, exactly. I think I challenge you to look at your passport and see what information is actually on
it.
Mine definitely has my state on it.
It doesn't. I don't know. I have to go get it upstairs. People love this discussion as we're losing people left and right. By the way, so I am not. I'm officially hijacking
I'll wrap this up.
This is
from Winnipeg.
Oh, that's right. That's right. As soon as you said it.
Well, then that's an X factor.
Mm-hmm.
No,
because that's not quite like oil country like Calgary, but you do have a hockey team. So I guess
anyhow, some people have been asking us. Let me see. Let's go to some real things. First of all, who's Jess? Okay. Jess, who are you?
Hello, my name is Michael. I'm. Winnipeg is Minnesota. I'm not going to say that you're wrong. Yeah, I'm not going to say that that's wrong.
You're actually not wrong at all.
Yeah, I agree. Winnipeg.
I'm not going to disagree. I'm Jessica Redicop. I'm a tabletop RPG game designer, freelancer. I write some stuff for Roll for Combat. I write some stuff for Paizo.
She's written a lot, actually. I'm trying to find your books. What did you write for Paizo? Which book?
Rage of Elements.
Oh, right.
Rage of Elements, I have a cover credit.
That's right.
I was looking for your cover
super
credits.
chat all for last for $2 said Derek classic technocracy show with Max Benality. I buy it. That's why he doesn't play Mage. He's from the technocracy. He destroyed the old world of darkness, Ghost Tap, and all those places during the cataclysm at the end of that storyline.
My experience with World of Darkness was mostly people like my friends playing vampire, but not really being even remotely interested in like gothic horror and like the torment between being the beast and the human and how do I maintain my humanity in the face of this curse. It was more like, oh my God, 5 dots and celerity. Oh, I'm moving at hyper speed. I'm like a badass.
So they were playing a superhero RPG with vampires?
Yeah. But I know a lot of people that played like that, honestly.
I can't find Rage of Elements.
I didn't really play World of Darkness when I was like a teen getting into games.
You know why?
We played D&D and we played actually Rifts and like a lot of Palladium games, but we didn't really get into World of Darkness.
We have both Sen, HHS, and Jess. Two of my favorite people on the same cover. There you go. That's who Jess is. Jess wrote cover credit for this. And cover credit for
Leshy Dragons.
She wrote this too.
No one has that except Steven.
Right. That was the super
if you come
one.
if you come to Gen Con, I'll give you a copy. Look at that.
Ooh. Wait, I might have that copy.
No, you don't. I just got this. You know who has this? Me. No one
Only
on planet
Steven
Earth.
What's the super rare one that we weren't like?
That was Misfit. Misfit was
that's not rare anymore.
That's
Misfit Dragon is the one with the Techno Cyber Dragon.
That's correct. That was Jason Keeley, whereas Jess did the Leshy Dragons, and that has was that the Floral Dragon on the front there,
yes,
Steven?
It's the Floral Dragon. Yep.
So let me get this straight.
It's the Floral Dragon.
Jess took what I consider to be one of the most quintessential monsters of all time, and somehow
the Leshy.
Nope.
Yeah.
and through the wiles of Roll for Combat, managed to corrupt it by making them into my least favorite creature of all time.
If you say so. By the way, BJ, yes, we
the
will.
Swarm?
Everything.
No, the Leshy.
Everything is going to be for sale at Gen Con, and including things that you can't get anywhere else, really, like the dice mimic, whatever I have left of the dice mimics, you can get these.
Those were surprisingly popular at PAX East.
Yeah, they were. Rules of Cool is right.
I guess it shouldn't be surprising because they're really cool.
But I dislike Shoonies more than Leshies.
Okay. Do you want to know
I'm making
the rudest thing?
Book.
The rudest thing that has ever happened to me in my life. Someone had a guest in my home, and this guest compared my cat to a pug, and I've never been more offended.
Wow.
Because Shoonies suck. That's what you're saying.
Anyhow.
That is what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm agreeing that I don't.
Now, Battlezoo Dragons, Shoonie Dragons.
Anyhow, someone did ask a question. What do I think of a few things? First, what do I think of my Agents of Edgewatch? So, Agents of Edgewatch, I am up to the last room in the adventure path. They have one room left, the big bad boss, and then the game is over forever.
What is the encounter level of that final encounter?
It is
over 9,000.
I'm guessing it's like 23, 24, right?
What are you talking about?
I'm guessing.
The overall encounter?
Is it an extreme level 20?
I'm looking it up right now.
It probably is because he told me that there's like a 23 boss and then a bunch of level 17 minions.
It is consistency. It is extreme 20.
Yeah, it's extreme 20.
It is a level 23 creature who's really strong with 4 level 17 adds.
To be fair, the 4 level 17 adds really won't do too much.
It's the number. I completely agree, but if you get overwhelmed early, you'll die.
Look, 4 level 17 adds are considered a low threat encounter on their own.
Yeah, but
which is a low threat because they have very little threat to them.
Right.
And
how many people are in your group? 4?
4. But they're also pretty weak in general.
I thought your group was like
they're insane.
Min-maxing.
Oh no!
They sometimes give themselves penalties for
they
fun.
They min-max. They don't min-max. They min-min.
His other group that was like mostly more from like No Direction folks had more min-maxers than it, whereas his like Steven for 40 years or however long gaming group. Those guys min-min.
They min and they will still destroy you. They're very good players. They're very, very, very good. They do extremely unorthodox things, and they also they're very good at finding utility out of the most basic of magic items. But yeah, I mean, this woman, I'm looking at what she has. I'm just curious. She has 10th level miracle. She has foresight, divine aura, moment of renewal, Finger of Death.
Moment of Renewal is one of the most powerful healing spells in the game.
Slow.
It's a very good healing spell.
She has slow, everyone. She has Stone Skin.
She should.
Does she have slow 6?
She has slow
True
6,
Strike.
At level 23, slow 6 is like less exciting than it was at level 11 when you were half the level.
Yeah, but I mean the DC, assuming she takes it at...
Sure. that's just how powerful spells are. I know people like to say spells are weak in PF2. It's so strong that I have to acknowledge that Derek is correct, that this level 23 person could be getting a very powerful effect out of casting a spell they've had since they were level 11.
It's fantastic action economy. Even if they all pass their saves, right? She gave up 2 actions and she's eaten 4 actions out of the party. So,
true. But to be fair, her allies are only 4 level 17 guys, so it does make it a little trickier in that.
Yeah, I agree.
But when a level 23
17 guys had all that slow 6.
And if a level 23 casts a spell and everybody made their save, that's actually very surprising.
Right. The reason why it wasn't a problem for us is because the way that the way that the counterspell rules work in the game is that like you can if you're a spontaneous caster, you can raise your spell level to a certain level, and then as long as you cast a level at a higher level than they cast it at, you get this massive bonus, and then even if you fail, you succeed. So like if somebody casts slow 6 on you and you have slow, you can use a 7th level slot and then counter it, and because it's higher level, it'll, even if you fail to counteract it, you'll counteract it.
As long as you don't critically fail.
As long as you don't critically fail, right?
So
Which is huge for casting against higher level spells.
Yeah, Jerry, that's exactly what you do also when the mooks have the spells. Like,
correct.
I had an encounter very similar to Steven's that actually turned into a slaughter on the PC's side. I also had this giant fiery creature, which is strong in melee, had miracles and a bunch of powerful attacks. And when you get them lowish, a bunch of angels descended who were level 17 against level 20 PCs, but they had high-ranking heal spells, and they were, or no, maybe it was level 17 PCs and the angels were level 13 or 14. They had 7th rank heals, and they were just going to cast it and heal the boss up to full over and over. Guess what? My PCs countered all of the heals and then just killed the guy on the next turn.
I love it.
So anyhow, so a few questions. Let me answer some questions. So
no, we're talking about Pathfinder 2. We're excited.
The game after this. So if you want to see it Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern, you don't have to listen to the other 350 episodes of them getting up to level 20, and all the way at the end, you can get to the last episode. We probably won't finish the fight in one night, but we will at least start it, and then next will be Jewel of the Indigo Isles, and we're going to play in Foundry, and the best thing is
you don't want to play Return of the Rune Lords or whatever.
I want to play my own adventure.
Revenge of the Rune Lords.
Those are very good. Those adventures, by the way. Those Rune Lords.
That's it's like 2 to 8. Is that the new one? The Revenge of the Rune.
Revenge of the Rune Lords is 3 volumes, and it's like higher level.
Yeah,
so it starts
level range,
at like 10 or 12.
Oh, does it? Okay,
I think it's like 12 to 20. I wrote the 3rd volume, so I just know that it goes to 20.
Does it go to 20? It goes to 20. Well, the best part is
it goes to 20.
My guys are all huge Kung Fu fans, so we're going to play this.
You're right.
And then after they get to 11th level, we'll probably do
Fist of the Ruby Phoenix.
Fist of the Ruby Phoenix.
That's what my group is going to do when we finish Jewel of the Indigo Isles, because it starts with Despair on Danger Island.
Danger Island.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Level
style
11.
Dueling Island.
Yeah.
Which easy to tie to the end of the Indigo Isles.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
Here, okay. I'm going to complain.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
Okay, because the
no,
Rune Lord,
you can't complain.
No, the Rune Lord's brand is completely out of pocket, because whether it was the rise of the Rune Lords or the return of the Rune Lords or the revenge of the Rune Lords, it's always just one Rune Lord.
Wait, what do you mean?
I think
it's not.
Had multiple Rune
No,
Lords.
it's
not
not.
the first one and not the second one.
What? No, the Rise of the Rune Lords only had one Rune Lord, but the Return of the Rune Lords, there were several Rune Lords rune lording around. Like a lot of Rune Lords were rune lording.
I know, but I'm reading here the spoiler for Crypt of Runes, and it says the ancient wizard Xandergul, the most powerful of the Rune Lords, has returned and seeks revenge upon the world. ...
Oh yeah, I see. So the second one was the only one that had multiple.
Right.
The first and the third, Revenge and Rise, were only one Rune Lord.
Okay, so my volume of Revenge of the Rune Lord includes multiple Rune Lords.
Okay. All right, well, then you know what?
Spoiler.
I guess that's because
can't watch
multiple
it.
Rune Lords are still
Everybody
around.
did.
from the second AP.
I think this is really cool. I think that these smaller APs that are different level ranges, whether it's 1 to 10, but I also like the idea of like a 5 to 15, or in this case, a 12 to 20. I think that's awesome, and I think they should do more.
They did one that was
great that Xandergul is getting a
12.
volume written by Jess, because the fact that he kind of just got ganked randomly in the second one, even though he was supposed to be the strongest one, and then ignored for that entire plot line, was one of the saddest things of that plot line. And so it's going to be amazing to see what happens with that.
Anyhow, well, wait, I got more questions. So anyhow, we're going to do that. Any plans for Starfinder 2 content in the future? Yes. Every single thing we've ever released works for Starfinder 2. There you go. There's your Starfinder 2 content. Everything that
we've seen between Starfinder and Pathfinder, and we had Thirsty on the show to talk about this too, shows that the Pathfinder content will work fine in Starfinder, but most of the Starfinder content we've seen would not work fine in Pathfinder, because the Starfinder content has a different meta, which is full of a wide variety of things that, especially melee stuff in Starfinder, is very strong because it has a ranged meta. So if you're actually going to go melee, you get boosts. It would be too much in Pathfinder.
I should also point out that
flying and other things are very strong. So it wouldn't be safe to just use...
and damage types, right? Like even like the standard weapons do like electricity damage, fire damage, like a laser pistol. So like there's so many things in Starfinder 2 that I don't want to say it makes them stronger, but like
it's not that it's stronger, but that it would be a problem to put them in your Pathfinder game because the meta is different. In Starfinder itself, it's probably balanced. But going in the other direction, I have not seen a single thing that would cause a problem moving in that direction.
Are you going to be creating things that are thematically science fiction, though, or thematically spacefaring kind of stuff? Like, obviously, the Pathfinder 2 stuff is compatible, but are you going to be making Starfinder forward?
I mean, our current Pathfinder 2 party is an android soldier, what is it? Not a Sagathi. It's I don't know, the four-armed alien mechanic.
I know what
it's a intelligent weapon magus. It's a living dungeon Eldamon trainer, and then it's a slime ooze Eldamon trainer. So now
you said it was a nano machine.
Yeah, I'm a nano machine swarm, and right now we're like inside of like a dungeon, but it's actually like a Fallout vault. So yeah, like we're mixing everything together and going from there.
There you go. But I think my guess is that we probably will not make something that's so purely Starfinder that it can't be anything else. It's because of for business reasons, we usually try to make things that can be used in a lot of ways. And if it is so Starfinder that it can only be Starfinder, that means it could never be 5e.
But you can use our dragons.
Starfinder, it could never be Shadowdark if it could only be Starfinder. But I still think we're going to make a lot of things that are great in Starfinder, like those bionic dragons who replace their body with robot parts because their body was necrotizing. Not only could that come right out of Starfinder or Star Trek, there literally is a Voyager species that was doing that, right? Where their body was decaying.
The phage.
So there's I think that we're gonna make things that work really well in Starfinder, but it's less likely we'll make something that is purely this can only be Starfinder due to the lack of compatibility. We had a question in chat from Caldaria Q for $5 that said, Mark, the BBG has zapped Derek with a horrible Magic the Gathering ray. He's been turned into a card. What is his mana cost and card text?
Oh my God. Now, this is the thing. If you are a super chatter and donate enough money to Mark's YouTube channel that no one watches, he will actually do this for you. He will.
I did make a Steven Glicker character sheet.
That's right.
Where his name was Ice-T Von Ghoul-Licker. And it just had a bunch of jokes about Steven based on things that I could find by Googling Steven. That is true. But let's see. So I think that Derek, if he was a Magic,
what color? Let's start.
Card,
what color would he be?
I think he would be probably a black card.
I was going to say black. Definitely black.
Okay, so I'm going to say 3 black mana and 2 colorless.
Wow, and 5 mana?
Yeah, he's gonna be 5. And,
you made him a Timmy card? What are you doing?
No, 5 mana could be totally played.
No, but his effect is going to be that his effect is going to be when Derek enters the battlefield, remove all cards from play that Derek hates. And then then in parentheses, Derek hates all cards other than himself.
Yeah.
No, it would just like, it's like, it would be that actually is a good cost for that much power.
That's a pretty powerful.
Yeah, he would be like, I would think Derek would be like, you would be like
an insane cost for that effect. What would you? I think
you would
it's
be
a
a
really
5/3.
cheap cost for that effect.
He would be a 5/3. He wouldn't be
because you're getting a body too, right? You've got to
getting a body too. That's what I'm saying.
Now, granted, it's a couple. It's it's old, but the cost may but like Dune Blast is a 7 mana cards, 4 white, green, black, and you choose one creature, you destroy every other creature. So you get to keep one creature, but you already have to have the creature. So if you have Dune Blast, but with a body attached to it, then that's crazy value.
No, I
think it's a really good value. Now it does destroy all the other cards, so because Derek doesn't even like swamps and forests or any of those.
It destroys all permanents?
Yes,
no, that's way too strong. No, I think
that would remove all the fun.
Yeah, that would be. That would remove all the fun. No, I could see that.
I'm thinking that he would be like a relatively weak creature, so it's not like you could just win the fight.
Also, I said 5/3. That he's a pain in the ass. You can't lightning bolt him because he's 5. So he's a pain in the ass to get rid of, like in real life.
You mean 3/5 then? If you wanted to not
3/5. Sorry, 3/5. 3/5. He's a pain in the ass to get rid of because he has 5 health instead of 3.
You can't terror or fear him if he's
right. I'd even make him I don't even almost make you a 2/5 or a 1/5.
This is
it's like you can't really do anything.
This is Magic the Gathering design coming from people who played the game 20 years ago.
That's
not true.
They're talking about fear. They're talking about fear and terror.
Well, I didn't say fear and terror. Mark said fear and terror.
Dark Banishing. I haven't played the game in a very long time, but I have seen that there was a lot of power creep compared to when I played it.
Yeah. So make me pull out my card.
5 mana, destroying everything and giving you
5-digit DCI, 4-digit DCI. Look at that, Wizards of the Coast. Look at that. It's laminated. That's how old that thing is.
It's so old that the DCI doesn't even exist anymore.
I would not have.
And this. Look at this one. I got this one too. You got that one?
When I was playing, I would not have costed 5 mana for destroying all permanents except for Derek.
It's crazy. I was counting because I was curious. And Jess's Revenge of the Rune Lords, the next one after that, Hellbreakers, I think is going to tie the number of APs from PF1. So like
what?
Revenge of the Rune Lords.
You mean number of adventures, not of APs?
No, like the number of the number of APs.
Adventures correctly, or there was 20
paths. Adventure paths.
Well, adventure paths is not the same as adventures, but
no, of course not. But yeah, obviously all the original ones were all 6 episodes. But I'm just saying, like now that they do the 3 episode ones, I think they do a 6-3-3 per year. So like PF2 is already caught up with the number of adventure paths. Maybe not the number of total adventures, but the number of adventure paths.
Well, they did Season of Ghosts, which was 4.
I know. It's just like I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, Quest for the Frozen Flame. I remember when we ran that, and I'm like, there has literally been 15 adventure paths since Quest for the Frozen Flame. Holy shit.
Well, yeah, Season of Ghosts was 4 because sometimes you want to do a different number.
Well, no, because that was based off Japanese lore.
Yes, Kisho Tenketsu narrative structure, which ironically is also kind of, if you think of it, a structure that is used in Lord of the Rings, which is a foundational Western text. What? Because the main difference between Kisho Tenketsu and what you typically see is that, like, the first 3 in Kisho Ten are introduction, a development, and then like the twist, and the twist, which may or may not have a climax in it, and you see that all the time. But the thing that makes Kisho Tenketsu more different is that there's a long 4th section that is a resolution that happens after the twist, which could have the climax, that they keep going and they do the resolution. And if you count the Scouring of the Shire as that, then in some ways you could see the Lord of the Rings is actually following that structure. And that could be the reason people complain about Scouring of the Shire. They're not used to that style of structure as much as they are to just going to the 3 and do the climax, and then you kind of just fade out.
Rook just joined and said, Derek, you're doing great work.
I don't don't know about what, but all right.
Yeah, can we be more specific about what Derek's great work is?
Yeah, right. Was it me teasing Jess about her Canadian? How about her level of Canadianness? And then she throws me the curveball by saying she's from Manitoba, and I'm like, well, how am I supposed to handle that?
Derek,
exactly. Have you guys met in person? Did you?
Yeah.
No. Yes.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. That or right, like when we were standing around in the front.
Just joined. So Derek, you must be doing great work in something else other than this. That
in the first 2 minutes of the stream.
So by the way, Jess, when do you fly in? Which day?
If I'm going to, it'll be Wednesday.
Okay. Well, come hang out with us on Wednesday. We'll do. We're doing some fun. Well, we're coming in on Tuesday, so we'll be there.
Yeah.
And you can hang out, get dinner, all that fun stuff.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Although, Critical Role is supposed to be there this year.
No, I'm sure they're there. I guarantee they're there.
They weren't there last year.
Yeah, but they didn't have a new game coming out.
Right. But are they going to support the game?
From everything I know, yes, they are. This is what I hear from the grapevine that they're going to support
That's the big question everyone wants to know is Critical Role going to stick with D&D or not?
I don't think they are. From what I understand, I think they are. I think D&D is going to go with Knights of Avantras, and because they're doing a great job. They actually do a better job because they integrate the online tools, and they're a lot of fun. And Critical Role is going to support their own game.
Legends of Avantras, maybe?
Legends of Avantras.
Legends of Avantras.
I literally did like a whole expose on that channel because I was talking about how
they're great guys.
Nobody can make it and everything and everyone's
funny.
like, well, what about this? What about this group? And I was like, where did they come from? And I'm looking, and I'm like, they were doing it forever. Nothing. And then they went to Gamehole Con, and they met, what's his name?
They were like every con, by the way.
They met Beetle and Grim guy, Matthew Lillard, and he was there because he's a gamer. He has Beetle and Grim, and he obviously is like a B-list celebrity. And they basically shot the shit with him, and they said, "Oh, you should come on and do a one shot." And he came on their show, and he did a one shot with them. And they blew up between that and shorts. And then suddenly they literally went from getting thousands of views to hundreds of thousands of views, overnight. And just they completely blew up. And then I was seeing, and I was like, someone was like, oh, they even did a root campaign. And of course, obviously I did, a root campaign. And so I was looking and I go, oh my God, they did a root campaign. I go, oh my God, this art is so good. And then I look, the art is by Kyle Farron, the guy who did the art for Root and does for Leader Games. And I'm looking, I'm like, oh wow, I can't believe that. And look at these views. And I look, no, it's 5e. It's a Root campaign with Root characters in Root art style set in the woodland, but it's still 5e. And I was like, man, these people are all in on 5th edition.
I see. So they didn't play the Root RPG.
No, they didn't play the Root RPG to play their Root RPG. They played 5th edition.
They're heavy 5e. That's all they do. I
don't know. That's some 5D chess shit, though.
That is
if you know what the audience is going to tune in for, if you know that the audience is more likely to stick around for your Root game, if it's you take Root and you make it 5e.
Yeah,
but it's actually not just 5D chess; it's 6D chess because not only did they get the 5e audience by making it 5e, they also got Derek, who wanted the Root RPG, to watch it, even though it was 5e. So they got everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's again well played by them, but my point is they were doing it for years. Nowhere. They had this great moment, lucky break. Guy came on, really boosted their views. They started making big money moves, and if D&D is D&D is well, Legends of Avantras is kind of where we're putting our money. Also, they're probably not big enough that D&D maybe feels like they can control them a little bit.
No, guarantee. Well, not
Critical Role is sort of the prodigal son. Who's like, I don't need to listen to you, Dad. I've got my own money.
I hate to,
I don't know, though.
Yeah.
As soon as you have someone who's willing to take the Root RPG and run it on an actual play using 5e, I don't know if you can tell them anything.
Yeah.
And clearly they had the support. Again, they got Kyle Farron to do the art for them. My God.
They're nice.
Well, the thing about getting the support from people who are industry professionals is that you get the support from them by paying them money. It's extremely easy to get the support from anyone who is a working professional because they work. You pay them money and they will work for you.
Well, I guess we're going to find out pretty soon. Maybe that's the big thing they're going to Gen Con to announce. I mean, I have no idea. This Gen Con, it's funny because there's nothing, quote, big happening at this Gen Con. Like, they don't have like a new D&D coming out, or they don't have Lorcana coming out, or anything like that.
I see you don't care about Starfinder 2 at all.
No, Starfinder 2, I do care
There's
about.
nothing big happening at those Gen Cons.
No, I forgot about Starfinder 2. No, Starfinder 2 is a big deal.
You know, we've actually made a video that Steven is the one who comes up with all these topics that said, what is the real big RPG that's coming out? And it's not D&D 2024. And then the surprise was that it was Starfinder 2. So he definitely...
No, I do. But the problem with Starfinder 2, they've been caught up in this diamond stuff that it's been a very big distraction for Paizo and everyone, because
that is true about the Starfinder release, yeah.
It's really bad. What's the Battlecry release date?
Same day.
That's same day.
Same day.
Is it same day?
Yeah. They'll both be at Gen Con. Battlecry and Starfinder 2 will be at Gen Con.
There is typically a Pathfinder 2 book that is like the Gen Con release. And so the release day is the first day of Gen Con. And that's a regular.
There always has been, even when Starfinder 1 came out, which was like more of a different game than Starfinder 2 is, in the sense that it wasn't really that compatible with anything, even though the monsters theoretically were in an annoying way. Annoying for the game designers to have to constrain the game in shackles so that it would be. But even then, another Pathfinder release came out that Gen Con.
I remember that was a big sobering moment for me. 2019 Gen Con. I'm there with my buddy Tim. We go over to Paizo booth. We're very excited. We get our copy of Pathfinder 2nd Edition, and we're like posting it to our group chat. And then my buddy Smith is like, "Yeah, I already got mine. It came in the mail." And I'm like, remember when you used to be able to go to Gen Con and be the only kid on your block with the game?
Yeah,
I gotta give it to D&D. They did that with 2024, because there were not street copies of the Player's Handbook. If you were getting them at Gen Con, or you were not getting them,
or you're getting them from me.
Right. But like, obviously they released it, like a month later. But like, that was cool. That felt exclusive.
That's legit. Why if you go to Gen Con, you can only get things like these pins from us. I have tons of exclusive things that you can only get at the.
If you want the exclusive content from the Paizo booth, you need to be getting the pins. Yeah, they have exclusive Gen Con pins.
Yeah, but those pins, those are buttons. I don't like their buttons.
They are buttons rather than beveled pins, but I think they're cool buttons.
I don't think they're that great. I'm not a button guy. I just don't like buttons. Look at those pins.
Never liked buttons. He prefers these kinds of pins. To me, I don't see that much of a difference, and I like them both.
What's the difference between a pin and a button?
What's the difference? It's like saying, what's the difference between a hamburger and a hot dog?
No.
Yeah, they're completely different.
No, it's like saying, what's the difference between a hamburger and a sandwich?
Yeah.
It's the backing.
It's the fronting, it's the backing, it's the everything.
It is true that Steven's pins are beveled and the Paizo pins are just like a basic pin that has the pattern that's on it.
I'll tell you the difference.
But I like them both.
I'm never liked pins. I don't like the bevel shininess.
Wait, you just admitted you didn't like pins now. You went back on yourself.
Buttons. Buttons. Sorry, buttons. I meant buttons. I don't like buttons. I just think they always look cheap. That's why I don't like buttons. They always look cheap.
This is the weirdest take, and this is coming from someone who's like the king of weird takes.
Who, me?
Yes, this anti-button.
No,
pins
because
make
they
me
look
feel
cheap.
Nervous. No, pins make me feel nervous. What if they pop off? And what if I lose them?
That's why we have two backings.
All right, I respect the two backings, because then you also don't get the spinning problem.
Oh yeah, the spinning problem is a huge problem for pins. Spinning buttons do not have the spinning problem.
Do I? I don't fool around, baby.
No, I'm excited, but yeah, I mean, obviously Daggerheart's going to be kind of there, but it had its release in the middle of the year.
Yeah.
I don't need
DC 20. No DC 20.
It could be a big
now.
Right. No DC 20. No.
Draw Steel.
I don't think Draw Steel will be out by then.
Draw Steel won't be there, and
the certainly won't be there. And
Brandon Sanderson won't be there.
Cosmere won't be there.
Cosmere won't be there.
The real question will be, if Critical Role is there, are they also coming with, 10 pallets of Daggerheart? Because right now you can't buy it anywhere. And like, a lot of people keep asking me, they're like, Derek, what's your read on the hype of Daggerheart? And I go, I don't really know, because I called 10 stores in my area just to kind of ask questions.
I can look up the sales.
Half the stores said Well, I don't have it, but I never ordered it. But a million people have asked me for it, so now I've ordered it, and it's back ordered until the fall.
Yeah, and whatever
the other
sales
half
that
of the
Steven
story
finds
said,
are, it could have been more if they had
Right.
made more.
So I don't know if this was like, again, the 5D chess where they just like were like, well, let's not
No,
publish.
I guarantee it wasn't.
No, nobody ever
No
does
one
that on
does
purpose because of the fact
Ever.
that they want to make the money from selling it to the people who want to buy it.
All right.
No one ever
All right.
does that. That is
So then they grossly underestimated how popular their game would be.
Correct, which is safer
Completely.
than grossly overestimating it and losing a ton of money.
I guess,
Mhm.
but like, there's also this idea of like this like critical threshold. Like your game kind of has to.
Ooh, they're definitely out because their sales have plummeted, and
Yeah, of course it plummeted. There were no books.
yeah, there's no more
Yeah.
books left.
There's just none. Like you can't buy them. You can't buy it in Europe.
Yeah, their books.
I mean, somebody even said like, I'm going to
just
do this
plummeted.
EU giveaway of a Daggerheart box set, and they're like, this may very well be the easiest, most likely way that someone in the EU can get a copy of Daggerheart right now.
They were on Amazon Canada until like a week ago,
Okay, but now sold
but
out.
they're gone now.
Yeah.
But like 2 weeks ago, they were like $40 Canadian
Mm.
on Amazon.
Well,
They
you can
were
go buy. You can
very
buy,
cheap.
you can go buy the collector's edition on eBay for $750.
Really?
So there's that. Yeah,
I got mine right here.
that's not the collector's edition.
I have. Oh, I don't have the collectors, but I have Daggerheart. No, the collectors is hard to find. I couldn't get
It
the
is hard to
collectors.
find.
That one's like, and they said they're
I'm-
never going to reprint it.
I know, and that's why I'm like, I'm trying to find freaking.
It
What
was
up?
sold out.
What up, Spencer
last
Stark?
year?
Send me a copy of a limited edition.
Wait, is Spencer Stark on?
No, but he's
Oh.
been in my. What I'm supposed to do, he's supposed to be on my channel. He was in my chat when we did a bunch of our
Mhm.
Daggerheart things, and he's like, "Oh, I'm a big fan of you guys, and I love your guys' stuff." And he was like, "We should hook up and do a thing." He's like, "Obviously, I'm really busy,"
Hmm.
but I'm like, "Look, I mean, hey, okay, great. I want a GM screen. I want the cool stuff from the Daggerheart, or the you can only get.
Maybe
from
theyll give it to you,
I can
Derek.
get
You
it.
never know.
I never know.
Well, maybe I
Derek
can
did
introduce you to-
successfully influence me into buying Daggerheart.
Really? Oh my
It's weird.
God.
He's disgusted.
I am disgusted. I'm horrified.
Why?
Jen, I'm actually.
But you
I'm not.
like
You know
Daggerheart,
what?
Steven.
I'm
Why are you
disappointed.
horrified that
I'm
Derek
disappointed
convinced-
in Jen. Jess, I'm disappointed in you.
I thought I was going to buy it at Gen Con. And then
Okay.
Derek did his stream, and I was like, okay, fine. I guess I'll call the game store and see if they have them.
I wonder if
There
I
you
can
go.
get more for you, Derek. I bought 10 copies for Derek
There you go.
at cost.
I mean, Steven,
No
you realize
less.
that like last week or a couple weeks ago or whatever, we influenced people to buy Myrtle, the 1 to
we
100
did.
puzzles.
I forgot about
And
that.
they were like, I bought Myrtle now thanks to your stream.
Yep. Oh, my shop is live. I didn't even know my shop was live on Fair. Okay, let me look. Do you want me to see if I can buy some more? Maybe I'll buy
I
another
mean-
20 copies.
I mean, if you can, I doubt it.
I have means. I have means.
I mean,
You have
Listen.
means. You have
I mean,
means.
listen, if you're asking me,
This
like,
is
do I
the
wanna-
secret Illuminati hookup.
There we go.
I did
let's
get
see.
him 10 copies. Well, I asked you, I was chatting with him. I said, hey, I can get you some copies of Daggerheart. Do you like one or two? And he writes me, goes, can you buy 10? And
did.
I'm like, okay. And so I bought him 10.
Steven,
now
I'll
I
take one if
own
you can
now
get
I own
one.
you.
The
I wanted to-
supposed free one that was going to come to me, I think, is Vaporware.
It is
Yeah, I
didn't
vaporware,
get
but
any
I don't even know if
response to the
Professor
email that I
Dungeon
sent for
Master
that.
got his either. So
Right.
it
Yeah.
makes you feel
Yeah, I
any
mean,
better.
online, like you can get it on eBay. The last ones have sold are selling for like $80 to $90, the normal set. And then there was a limited edition that sold 2 days ago for $630. One that sold for $510. One that sold for $499, which is just insane.
Hold on.
$625,
See if I can
$630,
buy some more.
$650.
Jimmy in chat says Critical Role is doing a live show on August 2nd in Indianapolis, but the
okay.
cast doesn't seem to have any official appearances set up for the con itself.
Got it. So they're kind of just hijacking the fact that all the nerds are going to be there anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. I mean, that's smart. Man, they're so smart. Well, hey, look, I didn't just convert to Jess. I converted Sail Away GL. I converted Trey Small. Valdal, I Hate You. They bought the special edition.
Wow.
And to be fair, I did intend to buy Daggerheart in general. Derek didn't sell me on should I buy Daggerheart, yes or no. Derek sold me on I should call the game store immediately and see if they have copies.
Fair enough, because you're like, man, if Derek likes the game, this could be huge. Derek,
well, they were starting to sell out already by the time that you were doing.
So basically, what you're saying is I did nothing, Jess. That's what you're saying. You're saying I did nothing.
No, you were a call to action.
Okay.
She was waffling about whether to do it then, and you pushed her over the edge to be like, okay, that time is now.
Yeah.
Right. Because like I thought like, oh, whatever, I'll just get it at Gen Con, and if I don't get it at Gen Con, then I'll get it whenever I get it. And then Derek is showing it off and it sounds so cool and it's like starting to sell out. And also it comes with a bunch of components that might make future reprints cost more money because of the tariffs. Right. And I'm realizing like, oh, the time is now.
I must strike. I must strike with a dagger to the heart.
Derek?
I do, but we're playing a little later, so I'm able to stay on until...
Oh, we got bonus Derek time!
Bonus Derek. I'm able to stay until technically 5:20, but yeah.
Okay, well, it is 5:15.
I know. That's the answer, Zolgathor, is what is the main appeal about Daggerheart? The main appeal of Daggerheart, in a nutshell, is it is a game that has some of the narrative mechanical qualities of Powered by the Apocalypse style games, but has some of the crunchy mechanic stuff that we love from games like 4th edition D&D and Pathfinder 2, where you have like, very discrete, concrete mechanical powers that you can, choose for your character and kind of make a build, for lack of a better word. And that's very appealing to some people. A lot of people like these narrative storytelling games, but they miss the fun little doodads on your character. And some people really like the, very crunchy games, but they miss the sort of fiction first, narrative forward style of the PBTA games. This game, and I happen to live in both those camps. This game is a This game is a crossover between those two of those. At least that's what I think. Tell me what you think in the comment. Isn't that what Professor Dungeon Master says? Anyways, I very excited about the game. My players very, very excited about the game, and that is what has given us the impetus to pull the studio out of storage, to move my bedroom into my small little office, to turn my master bedroom back into a YouTube studio so that we could play Daggerheart in person and record it.
The Psychopomp Bird Wizard agrees with you.
Okay.
Psychopomp Bird Wizard.
Listen, Squirrel Ash would kick that thing's butt up and down, left and right. Still mad that there's no on-crub.
You know what? Squirrel Ash would be able to defeat it, probably, but that Grima that caused so much grief in your campaign might not be so good against Psychopomps since they're immune to Void.
Let me tell you how stupid I am.
Oh, please tell us how stupid you are.
Squirrel Ash has a tail attack, right? I thought, and by the way, very aware that the battle form is called Squirrel Ember. And that the evolved form is called Squirrel Lava.
Right.
It literally didn't occur to me until the last time we played that it's not Squirrel Lash, it's Squirrel Ash.
Yes. But you can pronounce it either way.
Well, it's actually meant to be, Derek, in your defense, it's meant to be both.
It's actually both. Yeah, to be in your defense. That's why we don't correct you.
Both, but the Ash is supposed to be in there.
It's Squirrel Ash, but a lot of people say Squirrel Ash.
I missed the whole Ash, even though it's Ember and Lava.
Yeah,
it went.
Okay.
No. It's Squirrel.
When you have a game with those kind of little creatures, if you don't have Ash, then what do you have?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This is like the day I realized that Blueprints was a play on words.
Yes. Oh, did you play Blueprints?
Yes.
Oh, I finished it. It's quite good.
Yeah.
Is that one of those video games?
Yeah, it's a video game.
Yeah, it is a video game.
Yeah, Blueprints. You get it? Blueprints. Do you get it, Jess?
It is a roguelike puzzle game.
Where you build a blueprint.
There you go. We got 2 super chats. $5 Canadian. Benjamin 905 says, RC Daggerheart when?
Never. Where in Canada, Benjamin? But
it will actually never happen because my guys will never play anything except Pathfinder. They refuse to play any other game.
Were they talking about the RFC like live stream, or were they talking about like RFC books? I don't know. People have asked about both in the past, and Elaine Abreu for $5 said, "I bought it because Steven said buy it now." So Steven,
I don't know what it is.
You
but...
convinced someone to get Daggerheart right away because of the scarcity issues as well. It wasn't just Derek.
Okay.
Yeah. Benjamin, please tell us where in Canada you're from, and also tell us what it is that you want out of Roll for Combat with respect to Daggerheart.
Right.
Thank you.
There you go. It's very important.
You know, I can't talk about it, but
you guys are all obviously, seasoned professional game designers. Question. This is something that we've talked about, and I brought up on my stream a couple times. Daggerheart goes from levels 1 to 10.
Correct.
It has 4 tiers of play.
Correct.
Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, Tier 4.
Yes.
The adversaries aren't tied to a level. They're tied to a tier. So
Correct.
there's 4 tiers of monsters. There's 4 tiers of environments, which sets things like the DC and the damage. Tier 1 is level 1.
1, yeah.
And then Tier 2, 3, and 4 are all 3 levels each.
Correct.
This means that once you've played through level 1, you immediately go to Tier 2. Now, this isn't like D&D or Pathfinder 2, where it's like, well, you get 1 feat. It's like, or D&D where you get nothing. A first level Daggerheart character actually has a lot of moving parts and mechanical complexity. But this means that any monsters that you create for Tier 1 and any monsters that and any environments you create for Tier 1 are only usable really at level 1. You can use them later, but this is not like there's a significant gap. This isn't like the difference between a level 3 monster and a level 2 monster. It's a big difference. And we said 12 is already the number of the game. Why didn't they just make the game go from level 1 to 12 and make each of the tiers 1, 2, and 3? And the response, generally, that Patreon said was because they're trying to attract that 5e audience that wants that immediate feeling of like leveling up, even though you level up anyways. And like a lot of people start 5e at level 3 because that's when the real game starts and blah, 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 blah. Do you think that is the reason why they did that? Or is it because they wanted to be levels 1 to 10?
No,
I can give you my reason, but it's not. I don't know the real and insight into their minds. I can tell you why, as a game designer, that I think they might have done that.
I can tell you why I would make this choice.
Okay.
Let's go with Jess first.
Yeah, let's go Jess first.
Okay. It's more important to support level 1 than any other level. I think if you were going to go to 1 to 12, you would want 5 tiers and go 1 to 13 or something, right? Because having that level of support at level 1 is the level that people spend the most time at because everyone has to start there, but people end at different levels. But with a consistent starting point that you know that this content needs to appear at the beginning of every game and needs to hook people for the campaign, you need the most variety so that the first session of each game that you play can feel fresh and different, and you're not just starting out distinct campaigns fighting the same level 1 enemies.
I agree with you completely, but imagine if all the level 1 monsters that you ever made for Pathfinder 2 were unusable at level 2.
So, Derek,
fine.
I'm glad we had Jess go first because she has a very similar point to mine. I think I can build off of it, right?
Yeah.
So in Pathfinder 2, one of the things is you can use monsters at any level and they're just moved up and down. It's more like 4E where monsters were a particular level and they were either elite or boss in that level. So that's more the comparison. But here's the thing, Derek. You're right that I think it is mostly a really cool thing that adds to world building, that you can use monsters at any level and they just gradually go down as the way the math makes them weak enough that you could throw twice as many when they're 2 levels lower. In fact, it was very challenging as the designer to do that. But it creates edge cases that can be a problem. It does. And unfortunately, first level is almost always one of those edge cases, and it's the introduction to the game. So we've surely scared away some people due to the fact that they got killed at first level.
Right.
And if you don't treat first level in a special way, because of the fact that second level is twice the level of first level while also being 1 level higher,
right,
it actually causes edge cases that can make either first level too deadly or like everything else way too easy or cause other significant problems. Like in game design, there's something that's known as like the curse of 1 to 2, which is that people think of 1, and this is not just in level, but think about it in bonuses. People think of 1 as being a pathetic, piddly little thing. But the problem is because you're not allowed to say, well, this gives a plus 1.25 bonus to your check,
the next
one up is 2, which is twice
double.
as much as 1. And often, even if you were like, well, you say it sounds bad, and I've done the math, and you're right that it should be a little higher than this, than 1 on average. We were rounding down. It should probably be 1.2. But you can't do that. You can only give 2, which is like way more. It's twice as much.
Yeah.
And so when you go into leveling from 1 to 2 is often also a very large gap. And so it's not a wild idea to just separate 1 out and be like, 1 is different. It's everybody's introduction. So much playtime actually happens in 1 because of campaigns that fizzle out that it actually, if you log all the playtime, I'm not saying that the tiers they picked are evenly distributed. They're not. If they really wanted to log all of the playtime and do it, they would do like 1, 2 to 3, 4 to 5, 6 to 10, or something like that, right? Maybe it would be 4 to 6, 7 to 10. But now that would be bad for game design, going in half of the game with or 40% of the game with all the same monsters for a different reason. But it at least moves towards the idea of where is your playtime, what feels different, and what needs a different approach. And those beginner monsters might have more kids' gloves. They might have easier mechanics to deal with and for the GM to handle. Whereas maybe in the high, as soon as you get to level 2, that's tier 2, and you now know, okay, the GM is theoretically, unless they started at a higher level, which some people just do, theoretically they've had a whole level under their belt. I can throw in a mechanic that assumes they know the basics now. But maybe all of the ones for tier 1, I don't. So there's actually weirdly a lot of game design value in doing that asymmetrical design. That's sort of my response there.
Yeah, all that makes complete sense to me. I think for me, it's more of just like from a value proposition, because you're right. A lot of people are going to play, even if you go to tier 3 or tier 4 in your campaign, you're going to play tier 1. And a lot of campaigns are never going to go outside of tier 1.
Sure.
The idea that so much of the game's content should be aimed for what is essentially one level of the game, especially, and maybe they didn't have faith in their own design here, because when you go to level 2 in this game, there's no level-based proficiency. You don't get another hit die of hit points, right? You can't instantly die in this game. It always takes at least 3 hits, 4 hits if you're using any armor before anything could kill you. A level 65 monster could fight you, and it can't kill you in 1 hit. It's impossible. So it's interesting that there is this room where it's almost like you could say this is like the intro tier to the game. And in my mind, it reminded me of like BX D&D, right? Basic, Expert, Companion, Master. And I just thought it was very strange, because I feel like a lot of people are like, I want monsters. And let's say Derek, want to design monsters or design environments, which are also tied to tier. And it feels kind of like, yeah, I get it. A lot of people play level 1, but I hate the idea of it's like, well, now you're level 2. And because that's tier 2, the tier 1 monsters, aka the level 1 monsters, which are synonymous, are mostly useless because of the scaling issue in this game and the way that the monsters work in the tiering. You can use them, but they are a significant step down. So it's more of just like, if I'm buying something, wouldn't I rather be able to get, say, several months worth of play out of that monster by being able to use it through multiple levels rather than just, once and done. One of the cool things about Pathfinder 2 is that you can get a lot of life out of a monster, because you can throw it at the party as a PL +3 and it's a boss. And then you can throw it as a PL 0 and it's a standard monster. And then you can throw it as a PL -2 and it's kind of a mook. And that's one of the things I really love about the design of Pathfinder 2 is that you kind of get to experience the monster at different, stages and scales.
Look, I'm not going to knock it. I personally did a lot of work to make sure that could work.
Yeah. Well,
and I know you also really liked 4E, where you couldn't do that.
You could not do that.
They were only available at 1 single level.
Yep, correct.
For a monster, which is much more constrained. 1 level out of 30.
Correct.
For a given monster. Than,
you might be able to play it +or-1, but yes, Mark, you are correct. And so Pathfinder 2's design in that way, obviously that creates other constraints in the design, but it's really cool.
But I think that the Daggerheart thing, like, yes, it's only for 1 level of play, but that is also 10% of all of the levels, and it's the one that's the most common. So having 25% of the tier content be in the most popular 10% of play, when you think about it in ratios, is not even that weird.
Right? When you design a bestiary, do you think that like 30 or 40% of the monsters in your bestiary should be level 1?
It depends on whether this is the first bestiary or not.
That's a good
even
point.
Still, most campaigns are going to be at level 1, even new campaigns, right?
So I think that I would not want to design a bestiary that has less than 25, like especially for your first bestiary, that has less than 25% that are level -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and maybe 4 levels that you could encounter at first level.
Yeah,
so I wouldn't want to do that.
Oh, I'm a crazy person. If I ever designed a game, let's say it was like 4 tiers, like Daggerheart, my first bestiary would be like 80% tier 1. And it might have like a sprinkling of tier 2 and 3, and maybe like 1 tier 4 monster, or sort of like a preview. And then bestiary 2 would focus on tier 2, and then bestiary 3 would focus on tier 3. And then and not only that, if you did that, those higher level monsters tend to be more complicated. And by that time, your designers have gotten a year or 18 months or whatever with the system and play experience from thousands and thousands of people playing it. You have a much better idea of how to design those higher level monsters.
You're right, but no one would buy your second bestiary.
I know. Well, yes, of course, Derek, the anti-businessman, but the racquetball player.
As an aside,
no, it's not your fault, Derek. People
it's a good idea, but
don't
it
buy a
won't
second bestiary anyway.
Oh, fair enough. It's good.
As an aside, we did get an answer from Danjamin, and Danjamin is from Ontario.
Oh, okay. So he's the most American passing of the Canadians.
According to you.
According to you.
What about Montreal?
Oh no, that's not American passing at all. But that's Ottawa. That's or Quebec.
Right?
What about Vancouver?
Steven?
Well, I don't have.
Okay, Ontario. Ontario is a province. Vancouver is a single city.
I'm talking about a single city, though.
I was going to say British Columbia is a weird location. Okay, because it can easily. Here's the thing: if you're going to Seattle, it's very Seattle passing. If you're going anywhere else in the country, no. But I would also say that's true of people from the Pacific Northwest who go somewhere else. And they're likely to be mistaken for a Canadian. So
having lived in Seattle.
All I know is I had friends who lived in Vancouver, and they used to rip on the people who lived on Vancouver Island. And they would say that those were the weirdos. So I was like, okay, even in Canada, you have like the people ripping on each other.
What is the Wait, what are the specific issues with Vancouver Island?
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Even though other Vancouver people told him that, I guess.
Yeah, other people from Vancouver, they were like, oh, yeah, no, those people. I was like, really? Wow, I guess
so I think Derek has to go to racquetball.
I do.
So until next time, if you want to play racquetball and randomly judge where someone is from Canada for how American passing they are, you have to roll for combat with Derek.
There you go.
Yeah.